Welcome to the EST Hangout.
This is the EST Hangout, and today's guests are... Welcome to the EST Hangout Tuesday edition of the show. Tom Gazzola with you alongside Jasmine, who's doing Instagram, obviously. Welcome back, Jazzy. Welcome back, Kiera. Lyons, head coach of the Nate women's basketball team with a basketball in hand.
I forgot.
Yeah, she brought it with. Yeah.
I gotta show everyone I'm into basketball. I'm kidding. Oh, no, whatever. And then, of course, Kevin Radomski, director of business ops, and alternate governor, and my friend from the Edmonton Oil Kings.
Can I trade you balls? That's the one we play games.
And Dusty Nielsen, Kiera, you took his favorite basketball. Way to go.
I get it though. That's the blown up one. So.
See, I was explaining to Kiera how you guys have a Tecmo league. And then they play basketball games, and right after Dusty's show, he plays a basketball game against Trev. And you
It's serious, obviously.
Yeah, clearly, yeah.
That's how we do
Serious.
things at EST. So, the EST Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage, of course, Canada's storage experts, more than 2 decades of helping Canadians through life's transitions. Canadian storage provider, sentinel.ca. Before we dive into the meat of this show, we really need to talk about brain rot. Because Jazzy was doing her Instagram post,
Yeah,
which
well,
it's a work
I'm
in
almost
progress.
done, yeah.
Okay.
Did they always take that long?
No, it's just like
okay.
I'm just trying to listen. I'm trying to multitask.
Okay.
So I don't want to post like
No,
Team
you do your
Gazzola
thing.
by accident, right?
Do your thing. And
Timmy Zolla's a nice person.
hey, checks in the mail. Anyway, so he taught me a new saying. Benny Thompson did. Benny's in studio, obviously, like always. And we were talking about you go by the Oil Kings anytime they're around and you're doing your thing and you're like, what the hell are these kids saying?
Oh, yeah.
Kira, your girls have to be the same way.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes I forget how much older I am than them until I start hearing their conversations between each other, and I'm like, oh, right. They're like,
Yeah.
your brain's not developed. I get
Yeah.
Right.
I love you. I'm sorry.
No, you say it
It's
with
true,
the-
right? Yeah.
Yeah, like what's the... So you taught me chopped, which
Yeah.
is not a nice thing
What?
to say to somebody.
I haven't heard that one yet.
What?
Chopped?
Yeah.
Chopped means like you're ugly.
Yeah.
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 Like
So
you're chopped?
You're
That's what you
chopped,
say?
and then
You're
now we're
chopped.
fighting,
Chopped.
right?
We would call it
Your
ugly.
your man's is chopped?
Yeah, your man's is chopped. Yes, that's a
She
proper
nailed
way to
it.
do
Like,
I
right
like
away.
it.
Yeah. Start using it. Yeah, I don't know. Fine means like good looking.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes
That's our
sense.
word.
Yeah.
That's our word. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you add the S word to it though.
Fines?
No, the S word to it.
Oh, like the expletive.
Yeah, okay, you fine as...
No, just
or
no
fine,
ass, no ass.
Oh, you
It's
find,
fine.
oh, okay, you find shiz or whatever.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Also, you're still doing that claw thing.
I know. Nails.
She got nails. She does this claw thing when she gets sassy.
Because I never
I love it.
that. I know.
Yeah, she gave it to Ben there. What's going on here? I just noticed.
Yeah, I need to stop it, I know.
Okay, and then yesterday, so I did a nice thank you. Shout out to my buddy Tyson Gelly, who's a videographer, photographer. Do you know Tyson?
I have, yeah. I met him.
Yeah,
Yep.
you've worked with him before or know him. And so I posted these pictures he took when I was doing the pre and post game show last week for Game 6. And then he hits me, Benny does, with an, what did you say?
Holy aura.
Yeah, and
I got nothing.
I knew it. I knew exactly what he meant. I was
Really?
like,
Okay, so like,
I
for,
I'll
I heard
tell
that
them
one.
all.
I heard that one.
I got nothing. What is
Holy
it?
Benny.
aura.
It's just like aura is just like you have like a presence to you. You're like that guy.
Oh,
Have you
okay.
ever, like, you know what like an aura is?
Yeah.
It's
Just now it's used as like
other people
vernacular.
recognize
That's
it.
right.
Okay.
They recognize your aura.
But Tom, like I've been in awe of your aura for decades now,
I've been
right?
in your
Like,
era for decades. But Kev, aura farming is like when you're trying too hard
Like a
to like,
picnic.
Yes.
look at me.
Oh, okay.
We used to-
That's farming.
We used to just call that attention seeking.
100%.
Oh, I thought it
100%.
was positive, the farming.
No,
Okay,
no.
okay.
No, you're like asking for it.
Okay, yeah, attention seeker. Okay, all right.
Would it be the same as a thirst trap?
Well,
Ooh, good one.
well, yeah.
I like
Thirst
it.
traps are sure same wavelength.
Okay.
Yeah,
What's
same
that
area.
clout? Is that more like the same clout?
Yeah,
genre?
yeah,
Yeah.
same genre, 100%. Yeah, clouds. I don't know. It's sad. It's all the same thing.
So aura farming can be bad.
I would say so because
like
it's
it
not
is
genuine,
bad.
right? Like
Yeah.
it's not real,
Right.
right? Okay.
Manufacturing it.
100%.
Yeah.
Trying to manufacture your
Like
aura.
SGA doesn't have to farm aura. He already has aura.
Boom.
Like
There
he's
we go.
like- yeah, he doesn't farm it. And there's like Jason Tatum last year when he won the championship
Yeah,
farmed it
you.
because he just quoted every single notable
Anything is
quote ever.
possible.
Every single like quotable that's ever existed in the NBA, he
Nothing
quoted it trying to
original.
aura farm. That's what it was.
But like, I think people of all shapes and sizes can smell that from a mile away.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
If you're trying too hard, if it's not genuine, if you're regurgitating, or if you're just that effort is like way too much, I think people can see that from a mile away.
100%.
And like usually those pretenders don't last long, right? Like
Yeah.
if you can do it for a long time, you're either the best at hiding it, or you're actually genuinely very good and passionate at what you do. Generally,
Or you just attract a crowd of other pretenders.
Yes.
yeah. The circle. Yeah. I can see that. Yeah.
What's scary, speaking of that, is the phonies that do stay in there somehow
Yeah.
and work their way up. And you're
Yeah.
like, how are you
Yeah.
still kicking around?
Yeah.
And it's
I
like
think
in
everyone's
everything.
got that, right? Every company, every business, every team has got that pretender that you're just like, you're still here, right? Like, you know what I mean?
It's so true.
Nobody's figured you out yet.
Yeah.
It is so true. You can text us 780-218-9999. Get to the nasty chat if you're watching on YouTube. Hit that thumbs up button. We appreciate it very, very much. Do we need to clear anything else up on aura farming or brain rot?
Well, we didn't talk about brain rot. That was the whole point of
Oh,
what you
yeah,
brought it
that's
up, and
right.
then we never actually talked
But
about
aura
it. So.
farming is brain rot.
Okay.
Technically, yeah. It's like
Right?
it's one of the terms. Yeah.
Or am I
Okay.
missing the point
I
on
thought
brain
No,
rot?
no, yeah, brain like it's brain rot is a bunch of terms. Aura farming is one of them. So
So they're one and the same.
I can list off words right now for you.
Go. Give us like a
Hold on.
sample.
Okay, I'm gonna search
Costco
up so I don't
sample.
forget any because there's here you go. Phantom tax.
Forgot what that
Yeah, I
means.
need
No.
to.
I need to quiz you guys. So it's like basically it's like this big streamer who like
Oh, yeah.
he has a friend they all live in a house and like whenever his friends would order food he'd like crash in the rooms and like take food. And his name's Phantom, so they call it Phantom tax.
That's
Okay.
right.
It's like everyone had like dad tax growing
That's
up where
right.
like you
Yeah.
take
dad
food.
tax,
So it's like
yeah.
that form of that.
Okay.
Riz.
Yeah.
That's
Awful.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's awful.
Bussin'.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boston
Also
is
awful.
huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. it doesn't make any-
Glazing.
I don't know that one.
I haven't heard that one either.
No.
Did you tell me?
I told you
Glazing.
like past
They're not sinking in.
glaze
worth
means
it.
to like
That's good.
glaze
Thank you.
means to like overhype someone and like over
Okay.
give a compliment. So like if I were to go like Tom, you look so great right now. You're so tall, so jacked. It's like someone else would have to go like, bro, stop glazing.
Okay, okay.
But like,
Round
but it's all true though. Like, it's
Yeah,
not glazing,
there you go.
right?
Thank
Like,
you,
come on
Ken.
now. Like,
Could still be glazing.
okay.
Over here.
What else? Okay, well, I'm going on our website now.
Okay, what website are you on right now?
I'm on GameQuitters.com. I don't know. There's 40 of them. Alpha.
Yeah, that one's awful.
Yeah. It's just
Okay.
like a kind of like a guy has aura in a way, like just like a
douche.
presence. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
Okay.
it
Yeah.
is
Too
douchey.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Felt like a negative connotation.
Yeah. They have blood, but spelled BLUD. What's that, blood? It's,
Okay,
it's,
but
it's just
that's
it's just homie.
disrespectful.
It's just
Yeah.
homie.
So that's disrespectful to the Bloods and Crips back in the day, right? Yeah.
And they worked hard for that reputation. Yeah.
It's their word.
Great guys too.
Great.
Outstanding citizens.
No,
Yeah,
no
yeah.
problems.
Nothing
Either side, I'm good. What else we got? Oh, cringe is in here. That's not a brain rot term. That's just like regular.
Cringe is,
Yeah.
we
very
say
straight.
cringe.
Delulu.
Yeah, it's-
But see, now we're
Delulu.
into English
That's-
words again, right? Like cringe. Like it's actually an English word,
Yes,
so it's
yes.
a nice change of pace.
Let me try to find one that's not.
Delulu's good because I'll say, you're Delulu and you're Salulu, all right? Okay.
Yeah.
What's the second part of that?
Salulu.
Solution.
Yes.
Yeah. Salulu.
Wow.
Also, like, you guys are corny.
I know. Yeah.
And just
The
take
kids, right?
Yeah.
thanks, guys.
Just like
Yeah.
taking words that already like
Yeah.
Exist and then change
yeah,
them.
And then
I don't
just
know. It's corn
Hence the
dogs.
brain rot, I guess, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Gyat.
Oh,
Yeah, that's terrible.
That's a bad one.
Oh, that's the one with your ass, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, like skibbity.
I still
This
don't
one,
understand that one.
this one has a definition. Can mean good, cool, bad, evil, or dumb, depending on the context.
So just like every
That
other
word is-
English
like,
word,
it's
it's all
just
how
a
it's
filler
used,
word.
right?
It's just a
Yeah.
filler word.
Okay.
Makes no sense.
I hate the sound of that one.
Okay, yeah. Sus,
Yep.
suspicious.
Yes.
We got that one.
Yeet.
Sounds dumb.
Use to
Yeah.
show excitement or surprise in various situations, like
Yeah.
doing a dance move. Okay.
Didn't yeet used to be like when you'd throw something
Yeah.
to you, like you
yeah.
yeet it?
That's how I remember
Oh,
it.
what?
But
Okay.
I didn't
I
even
didn't
know that.
Yeah,
Me neither.
WWE though, right? You got some yeet going on there.
You know what I want to bring back is jabroni.
Oh, we say it all the time. Oh, best
Hilarious.
word.
okay, yeah, jabroni's good.
Yeah.
So good.
that's a
That's
good
one of my
put down.
favorite things, to call somebody a jabroni.
Yeah. Yep.
It's so insulting to
It
me.
is.
It is.
And it
Yeah.
can mean anything.
Yeah.
Yep.
Literally
Yeah.
anything.
Zesty.
Oh, yeah. Cat.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's got some zesty stuff on the internet.
Yeah.
It's a positive word?
No, it's like he's like quirky and
Yeah.
like you would debate.
Femme.
Yeah, he's very feminine.
Yeah.
Oh.
See,
Oh
like so,
my
cat,
God.
cat is very zesty, very zesty.
See him doing like this a lot.
Yeah. Oh my god.
You know
know way more about this.
Oh yeah.
I hang out-
Dialed in.
Yeah.
I hang out with 19-year-olds every day.
Yeah.
Just to
Evidently.
communicate to them somehow, right?
Guys, I'm a translator.
Yeah,
Oh my
literally.
God.
Goofia.
I don't know what that
I've
is.
never heard that.
Betty,
before.
why is he
I didn't expect that to be here. It's just like it's like used in the like in a sense of like you're just trying to say someone's funny or like silly.
Goofy.
It's like
Yeah.
it's used in memes a lot.
Goofy?
Okay.
Goofia. That's so stupid. It's so stupid.
Well, we've got a lot of Riz on this show. I have to say.
Yeah, sure.
No jabronis.
No,
Yeah.
no,
No cap.
No cap.
All right.
There we go.
There we go.
All right,
There
I'm
you go.
figuring it out.
Knew that one.
Okay. Well, let's move on from brain
Yeah.
rot because
Yeah.
I feel like
Well, I was, you know what
Okay,
I thought about
fine.
brain rot?
Yeah.
No, I thought about different brain rot. I thought it would be like Love Island USA or something.
I heard
what?
Love Island
They're just, like, scrolling.
Spanish is like crazy.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, like the Spain version is insane.
Yeah,
can
like
see that.
very dramatic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and very
So-
passionate.
Well,
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some pretty provocative scenes.
Yeah.
Somebody was showing me. One
I
of
think
them.
you
A
and
wine.
Maddie talked about this.
That's
Yeah,
right.
with the guy
Like,
who saw
Europe
his
has
girl.
a different
yeah.
standard, though, right? Like anything in Europe is just like it can just be its own thing.
Yeah,
like, it's
I'm sure
different.
even their bathing suits are
Yeah,
like,
100%.
they're just walking around in Speedos.
I know.
Yeah.
Eating breakfast, the audacity. Okay.
Oh, I love it. What was that one? Do you guys know Nick Kroll? Yeah.
Yeah,
They do that Kroll
Big
show.
Mouth? Big from
Yeah,
Big Mouth?
from Big Mouth. But he has that one character. It's like the something Ox Hostel, and he's like, we have breakfast, like 1, 2 cigarette,
Something cool.
Yeah.
and then you take your
A bar
cigarette
of
out,
chocolate.
and we make everything with olive oil so we don't get fat.
Have another cigarette.
Yeah, exactly. Oh god,
So
I'm sorry.
good.
Well, yeah. Do you want to talk basketball? Yeah. Well, we haven't seen Kiera or Kevin in a while.
Yeah.
Let's start with Dahmer, and then we'll go to Kiera. Like you guys pulled off a trade yesterday.
Yeah,
too,
absolutely.
a big
Yeah.
Trade.
So we brought in from the Tri-City Americans like another really talented Czech player. And so the WHL, in case you don't know, like they're 16 to 20 years old. And this is the first year that we can have more than 2 European players.
That's right.
So we now have 3. So we have Adam Yeko, we have Holinka, and now we have Curran. And they're all from Czechia. So we got like this little Czech army starting to happen in the Oil Kings dressing room, and they're fantastic, right? And Adam Yeko drafted by the St. Louis Blues. We have Holinka drafted by the Toronto Maple Leafs,
Yep.
and now this guy is drafted by the Colorado Avalanche. So these guys are legitimate players, and really, our president general manager Kurt Hill pulls off a trade like that in the middle of the summer. And I was getting texts yesterday being like, do you guys like take a couple days off? Like we announced our preseason schedule. We announced a trade. Today we're announcing our regular season schedule. And it just keeps going. You can't stop, all right? Like you got to keep going.
Yep.
And yeah, it was in the middle of summer and Kurt's pulling off trades.
Well, I got that notification yesterday. I'm like, jeez.
Yeah.
Because that cost you first rounder,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, schedules. What do you have?
No, he's 6'3" and 187 pounds.
Yeah, no big
Dang.
deal, right? But like,
All
these
of them are
kids are
huge
all
now.
huge. Oh yeah, like really big. And like one of our defensemen, Blake Fiddler, is projected to be a first-round draft pick in the draft on Friday for the NHL, right?
Yeah.
Like we're hearing anywhere between 15 and 30, and of course that can change, right? Like we all know he could slide into the second round, but having a presence on the back end, he's a huge defender. Of course, his dad, legend Vern Fiddler.
That's right.
Like so you look at the pedigree. And you say like this kid's up for an NHL draft and just a couple days away, and couldn't be more excited for the family, But then knowing that, like, that's just where it starts. Like, it's so crazy that you have to get into the WHL, you have to excel. You then get drafted by the NHL, and the journey is still just starting.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just like, I love the idea of seeing these players develop, graduate, and then continue to succeed. And that's what junior hockey is so cool for, is you get to see tomorrow today kind of thing, right? Like, it's pretty cool.
Kev, are you guys do you do things for the kids that are draft eligible? Like, is there anything special surrounding that from a junior team standpoint?
Yeah, we have to be really careful with it, right? That we want to make sure that we don't put any extra pressures on and that kind of thing. But once they are drafted, we'll start really celebrating them and all of that. So like last year, you know, like we had a guy like Parker Alcos go to the Vancouver Canucks, you know, Adam Yeko to the St. Louis Blues. And then you start looking at a guy like Grayson Sachin, who was drafted by the Florida Panthers and then signed his entry-level contract last year while we were on the road. So it's every player has their own journey. And what I love is that we get to celebrate all the different milestones that they achieve along their way and along the celebration. It's actually very cool.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot, actually. I mean, we could talk about the schedule in a little bit, but I know you guys do a lot of theme nights. Anything new you can tease?
Yeah, I can tease it some stuff. Yeah, like we're going to do some stuff that we haven't done before. We're going to do some stuff where we've had a lot of fun. Like if you haven't been to Oil King game, it's all about family entertainment, right? So it's all about great value, $20 seats, but then we get to have a lot of fun. So we've had things like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle night. We've had things like SpongeBob SquarePants night.
Yeah.
We're going to do another night like that on the Family Day weekend. So we're actually playing a game on Family Day Monday in February, and we're going to have a theme that's going to go with our jerseys that I promise everyone here has grown up with this franchise, and it's going to be a ton of fun, like ton of fun.
You really spoke to me with the Ninja Turtles and Ghostbusters nights, by the way.
Ghostbusters.
Yeah, we actually had Ecto One, like the car on the concourse, and we have these men and women. They're part of the Alberta Ghostbusters, and they raise money and awareness for the Stollery Children's Hospital. So first off, what's not to love about that? But these men and women are in the regalia, and like they're running around the concourse with these like plasma packs on their back. They got the car on the concourse.
A proton pack.
Okay, making sure. Wait, they actually had a Slimer. He was like kind of like on like a pole, and you could take photos with Slimer, and it was just so cool. And I'm just like, in all of that, plus you have all the thrilling action on the ice, and you're walking the concourse, and there's Ecto One full lights on. That we actually got it up the freight elevator, and I was actually happy that it all worked out, because everything is great on paper, and then you realize that you're an inch too big or a pound too heavy or whatever, and it can't go in the freight elevator. So we try not to overpromise and underdeliver. We try to underpromise and overdeliver, and we knew we could get that car in, but then what are the odds that the freight elevator is working that day? Like for whatever reason, it might just break down.
Sure.
Well, no, I can't get that car up there. So we had to be very careful on what we talked about, because we didn't want people to say, well, where's the car? And if the car's not on the concourse, you can't hide it, right? It's like, it's just around the corner. Like if it's not there, it's not there. So we always have to be really careful on what we say, because we want to make sure that we can do it so we don't let our fans down. But we have a really good track record of having a ton of fun at the games, and that promotional schedule will come out in August. We're gonna probably about the middle of August, but there's some nights that we've never ever done before that we all just kind of look at ourselves and laugh. But I can tell you later today, we're gonna have our players unveil our schedule, and they actually drew the logos of every team that comes to Rogers Place next year. And I'm talking, and some of them are tremendous, and some of them are a work of art that is a little different.
Only mom can appreciate.
100%. But like honestly, the fact that they all bought in tells you a little bit about the Oil Kings, right? Where we didn't have to really poke and prod. Like Katie Harding, who does a great job with our social media, she reached out to all of them and said, listen, here's your assignment. You have the Prince Albert Raiders, and you have the Wenatchee Wild, and and all these guys did a great job. And then they took a photo of them holding their work of art, so we can see who the artist is.
Yep.
And then we can see their work of art. We're going to use that to unveil the schedule later today.
I like a good schedule.
Awesome.
Yeah, there was a couple we had to go back to and be like, try again. But like overall, they were pretty good.
Good try, son.
Yeah.
Kiera, you lit up when Kevin mentioned Ghostbusters.
Wow, that's so fun.
Yeah.
Like having like all those theme nights and stuff, like and creative. I feel like that's such a good idea.
But the whole idea is to bring the families out, right? Because at the end of the day, if all we ever did was sell wins, then you better never lose. And to me, in junior hockey, you have to have more opportunity for fans who are maybe casual about hockey to be able to come out and have that great time. And if Ghostbusters is what brings you out, then we're going to have Ghostbusters, right? Like, let's go. Yeah.
I nerded out when you guys wore the Edmonton Flyers jerseys,
Oh.
but like it was like me and 75-year-olds that were like, those are sick.
Like honestly, like that was a jersey we wore it last March. And for those who don't know, the Edmonton Flyers played here at Edmonton in the 1940s and 50s, and it's a yellow jersey with like a plane on it, right? Like an old bomber style plane. And when we wore it, the amount of people that asked us to recreate that, wear it again. I said, well, no, like the idea is one night only, right?
Yeah.
Like it's special. And we raised a whole bunch of money for Education Association. And it was one of our most profitable jerseys we've ever worn because people just love that nostalgia.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it was something totally different.
You guys crushed that one.
Yeah, it was fun.
Great look that night. I know the game didn't go as you wanted it to, and it was against PA.
Yeah,
PA
good
is
team.
good, man. That really good team. You guys faced them in the playoffs
bet.
as well. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say Oil Kings, they're always engaging with families, and like, you know, you have 3 kids, you have a little one, at least like they can be like, oh, it's Ghostbusters. So what a great idea.
Well, like one of
Love
the
the
things we
Teenage
did
Mutant
last
Ninja
year is we actually did a princess night, and I'll be honest with this crew. Like what I do is I create these things with my team, right? So we create these theme nights, and I'll usually talk to our management, right, the general manager and the coach, and just say, hey, I'm making it up. March 10th, we're going to do a princess night. And our coach at the time was just like, princess night? I'm like, yeah. I said, like, I'm a father of 2 daughters, and my daughters are long past princess age, but
You never outgrow princess.
No, I was just gonna say, no matter, you're like
That's
Teenage
true.
Mutant Ninja Princess.
but like the amount of people that brought their young daughters in princessed up, right? Like dresses and the whole regalia. And like to me, like that's what I looked for when I was a young parent, to saying like, hey, I love hockey. My daughters are probably indifferent to hockey. Both my girls love hockey, but like if they were indifferent or passing, but like why don't you put on this little, you know, bell outfit? Let's go to the Oil Kings game. So we're going to do that again this year, but we're going to amplify it a bit more. We're going to give away Oil Kings tiaras. So there's a spoiler, right?
There we go.
Yeah. So like, and those are the things where you try and bring these people in that are brand new or maybe not fully engaged on our channels, but they're coming to the Oil Kings because they know they're going to have a great time. It's great value. It's great entertainment. And then we have these giveaways and these theme nights that are even, they amplify the experience even more.
One of the things that, I mean, we were having conversation before we got in here, but we were talking about the PWHL and how they had the game here. And I was talking about how, I grew up playing hockey, but I played boys until I was like 15. So it's just a very different experience when you're in a male-dominated team room and, you know, like all of those things. And I was saying that when I was watching some of the highlights in the PWHL, there was one highlight where the entire crowd was singing Taylor Swift in the rink. And it was like, it almost made me cry because it like, I didn't realize that there was something in me that like needed that. And like a young me would have just been, because it's such a different space, right? So now like when you have a princess night like that, like it creates this very safe and community space in a hockey rink for girls, and they have that their whole lives. And I loved hockey. I loved it enough to play boys most of my life, but to have that and to be a part of like the growth of that was just like so special. So to hear that you guys are like continuing that and just making sure that you're including young girls and giving them a space to enjoy the sport and feel comfortable is just like amazing.
Well, like that PWHL game, like I'm so privileged to say that, you know, I was one of the people that helped bring the PWHL game into Edmonton to Rogers
out,
Place. 100% sold out in like 10 days.
Yeah.
And you never know, right? Like you look at it and you say, this is something really cool for Edmonton. And time again, Edmontonians want to be entertained. Right, like we always seem to sell the most merchandise and the most ticket sales for whatever it is, be it World Junior, be it concert, be it hockey. But with the PWHL, you weren't sure how it was going to perform because they had no comparable. And when it went up and it started selling as well as it did, my pride for like the civic pride of saying exactly to your point, how many young people are in the audience right now seeing this thrilling PWHL game in a beautiful building like Rogers Place that can walk away and say, oh my goodness, like there's something that I can still connect to continue my chase of the love of the sport and not have to abandon it at a certain age because there was nothing else.
Well, and it's crazy to see like because I feel like I've been screaming it from the top of my lungs that like women's sport is something that's been undervalued for so long.
No
and
question.
like there's no doubt about it. To see the swing that's happened, it just like it's exploded, and it feels like it's exploded overnight, but it's been years and years of just trying to get people to recognize it. It's like it's always been there.
Yep.
The athletes have been there, the talent has been there, the adaptation of the sport has been there. It's just getting people to respect it and also to be able to have visibility of it. And it's incredible to see that it's just like, oh, all of a sudden you have people investing in it and caring about it, and then it's just been huge. Like WNBA, PWHL, like all of these things just like exploding, and it's super. it's very cool to be a part of.
We were talking before we came in. I think one of the biggest frustrations is people comparing the product against something else that's already established.
Good point.
Right? Like to compare the PWHL against the NHL and to disqualify it and say, well, it's not the same, because it's not the same. And the NBA and the WNBA are not the same. But that doesn't diminish one or exclude one. It's like these are different things that should be enjoyed in their own way rather than comparing against an established product, right? Like when I watch the PWHL, I am not watching for open ice hits and people being laid out, because that's not what you want, right? The PWHL is a completely different game that is awesome. And the energy, the excitement, and the enthusiasm of the players is so great. And when you watch like the WNBA, it's completely different than watching an NBA game. But then stop comparing them. Like just let it be what it is and enjoy it for what it is, rather than comparing it against something and say, well, it's not this, therefore it's not good.
Well, and it's disrespectful, and it's
100%.
also just like it's ignorant to the sport. Like when people say, like I think for a long time people didn't want to watch women's sports because they just assumed that like, well, they're smaller, slower men. Like it's the same game, but it's not as exciting. It's like, well, actually, if you understand what's going on, it's a completely adaptation of what they're doing. And if you have a love for the sport and you understand what's going on, like it's a very pure adaptation most of the time. Like the amount that the puck and the ball move, like it's a completely same game, different, or same sport, different game, right?
Yep.
So it's just, but now there's like that level of respect that's starting to be like, oh, I actually, they're a totally different type of athlete. It's a totally different game, and there's an appreciation and a love for it instead of just that comparing, which I think is super important.
No question.
I had an aha moment that I'd like to share with everyone. That's in line with what
Did
Kiera
anyone
was
else's
saying.
toes just curling their shoes? Anyone else? Oh my God, here it comes.
It's not that bad. We were doing at West Edmonton Mall at the rink. We were doing a charity ringette game, and it was Edmonton Media versus the Pandas ringette team.
How'd that go?
They were kicking the living crap out of us in the first half. They were so fast, so skilled. Their passes were like, we're getting murdered. It was like 9-1. So we made an adjustment in the second half, and we kind of figured out some of their set plays. I think we ended up winning like 12-11. But at first, I'm like, I had no idea where these girls were going, because they had their set plays. They were behind, and they were so fast. They outskated like 95%
Ringette
of our
players,
guys.
like even when I played, so a lot of girls that I played with, like when I switched over to girls hockey, the ringette players, best skaters out there by far.
They're amazing.
Yeah. And one of the cool things that I learned, I was actually recruiting a point guard that was a ringette player, is like hockey and basketball are very, very similar. It's just the possession is the biggest difference. And ringette is basketball.
Yes.
It's basketball on ice because the possession is so much more dominant. And then there's no face-offs. They basically have baseline out of bounds and sideline out of bound plays instead, and it's the same. The transition's the same. Offensively, defensively, it's the same idea, right? 5 going against 1 target, like and ringette. Like I've always seen the parallels of hockey, but once I started watching ringette, I was like,
cool.
This is literally the exact same.
So much defense. It was very frustrating. I'll let you in on a secret. We figured out we could just kind of lean on them a little bit. I felt so bad. So bad. And then I scored, and it was like a 1-time or 2, and I actually was like fist bumped, because I've never played spring out in my life. I felt like such a jackass. Thank you for unlocking that memory, Kiera. I appreciate that.
I think even with like women's sports, like women, they're just, it's more rowdy. Even with the MMA, I prefer a women's match over a men's match. No offense, because I feel there's just so much more intensity.
That's one
Kiera,
of the.
you can pull that one down if you want.
Yeah. It's just like right in my eyesight.
No, I know. Well, Jerry Montajong was in that seat yesterday. He's only 6'8".
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. I was like, I feel like I'm not that short. Why is this
No, you're
right in my
not.
face? That was one of the things actually. I was watching some WNBA highlights and I was listening to people talk about it, is that one of the slights that the NBA gets all the time is that regular season isn't intense enough. It's not competitive enough. They got the load management things, like they talk about that all the time. And one of the things that they were saying that when they switched over to watching the WNBA was just like how competitive it is and how like intense and it is the entire time. And I completely agree with that. Like you watch some of these WNBA games and you'd think it'd be like playoff series because they're just kicking the crap out of each other and they never take a break. It's awesome.
Like we just had with Caitlin Clark the other day.
Every day.
Yeah, every day.
But like honestly, and we were talking before we came in, is just that energy now around the WNBA, around Caitlin Clark, and all of that now. Like people are talking about it.
Yes.
Because it's a legitimate rivalry, right? And you need those. You need those bad actors that are like, I cheer against you. I want to see you fail. I'm going to
Angel
watch.
Reese.
right?
I get annoyed by her.
Yeah,
I can't stand her.
Thank you.
right. But like,
Because-
that's what you need, though, because if it's too homogenous, it doesn't draw people in.
Yeah.
But you need the people who love to support and then love to hate, and that's where you get your audience from. And I love that the WNBA is experiencing that right now in really a great generic way.
There is a part of me that I wonder how much of it is manufactured in
Yeah.
order to create conversation and create like
yeah.
attention around the league too, because like some of the thing, like some of it for sure, it's just like comes out of intensity and like Caitlin Clark getting poked in the eye and getting beat up and whatever. But like some of the conversations, I'm also like, is this a business tactic to try and get more people speaking about it, or is this like legitimate? And it's hard to know. And then they're also, I think, like the WNBA's learning how to deal with the negative press as well as they grow. And so I think it's like probably more so now than it ever will be, because I think they need to learn also how to like as much as I love the, you know, the talk about Caitlin Clark, and you also have to protect her, because if she gets injured, a lot of things change.
Yep.
Like, and it seems also like, and I can't really tell if there's like a jealousy from other players, but I'm like, you recognize if she eats, you eat, right? Like the reason, like there's other girls in the league that are really popular and people love them too, but like Caitlin Clark is the MJ, the Larry Bird, the Magic Johnson, the like whoever you want to compare her to. Like,
you bet. Yeah, you
she
don't
just
hit
has
the
it.
golden goose.
People want to watch, and like even when
Yeah.
she's pulled her hamstring and was out, and there's
Yeah.
viewership with her games and the other games that would drop by like 52% or something. So it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, we want to have these like storylines of people coming after her and whatever, but like you also need to make sure she doesn't get injured, because if she does, things change dramatically as well. So it was also nice. I don't know if you saw that Sophie Cunningham.
Yes. Who's
Oh,
also a
she's my new favorite
superstar.
player. So like she
Yeah.
gets
Great
poked in
fit.
the eye.
Yeah.
Gets poked in the eye, and then that girl going up for a layup, and she just two-hand grabs her, throws her to the floor, and I was
Nice.
like,
Yep.
refs aren't going to do it, league's not going to do it, like teammates need to step in, and I couldn't have loved that more. That was awesome.
But like that's
Giving me
usually how it,
goosebumps.
but that's usually how
I
it works,
loved it.
right? Is that you need to have the teams that have each other's backs, and like there'll always be drama. I don't care what level you're playing at. There'll always be some bad energy in your dressing room. Hey, how come you didn't give me this, or how come I gave you that? You didn't score, you didn't whatever. But when the heat of the battle, if I'm seeing that you're getting worked over in the corner, I'm there for you. And if that means I'm going to get my ass kicked, then okay, that's what it means, right? And that's when you can't manufacture that. You can't teach that. A team has it or they don't.
Yeah.
And a coach can talk about it all he wants, but when you go onto that playing surface, if I see that you're being fouled or you're being interfered with, that's got to make me mad. And I got to go in there with full gusto, saying I could be way over my head right now, but I'm going in.
Yeah.
And you'll see that I'm going in, saying I don't think you should be doing that, but here you are, right? Like that's what makes you a winner.
That was one of the hardest parts, especially not so much now, because I think my team we have some veterans, we have some confidence, but like when I was on the sidelines as a coach and I'm watching my girls other girls getting in their face and pushing them to the ground, and I'm just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to.
You got the switch, right?
Oh man, it was so hard for me not to just like throw my shoes on and get out there and show them what was up. But it was like now we have, we're developing that a little bit more. But it was that part bothered me probably more.
Because
than
that makes
anything.
you successful, though, right? As a
Yeah.
player, like that's where your
I'm in
success
a bar
derives
fight.
from.
Like I want to know that you're gonna like whether we get beat up or not. Like
I'm in.
Yeah,
I'm
you got
in.
my back.
Yeah.
If I'm getting beat up, so are you.
Oh yeah. And then we have something that bonds us, right? That I know that you were there for me, I'm there for you, and I know that if I'm in that problem, you're there for me.
Yeah.
And you can't, you would never give that up in a million years. And people, even years later, when they went their separate ways, they stopped playing sport, they play on a different team, whatever. When they get back together, you instantly go back to what we had when we were players. And what I thought was so cool is I had the privilege of running the Oilers alumni for years. And when we did the 84 reunion, where we brought the team back from 1984, and these guys, some of them hadn't seen each other for decades, when they transported on the bus, they all sat beside each other. And it was Glenn Anderson that was just like, you guys realize like we're all sitting beside each other. They didn't talk about it. We didn't assign the seating. But Randy Gregg sat beside who Randy Gregg sat beside, and Mark Messier sat beside who he sat beside. They did it instinctively. And I was on the bus when they called it out. It was Glenn Anderson that called it out. And everyone was just like, oh yeah, like I always sat beside you. Like, why wouldn't I sit beside you now? But that was 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Right? And I thought it was so cool. It was just so pure. And that's the same thing. We've been in battle together. Therefore, we have this connection that lasts a lifetime.
That was a great party, by the way.
It was a great party. It was a really good party.
I
Yeah.
remember it well. Jazzy, did you have anything?
A big uke in the nasty chat. He said about Caitlin Clark. Didn't tickets drop in price like 100% when she was injured last time?
I don't
I
know.
saw
That
some
wouldn't
stuff.
shock me
I saw
though.
some stuff on social media that they were plummeting in price and demand.
Going to your your princess night, I was thinking like
Let's go.
Okay, wait, but really like in 2025, I think sometimes when you think about sports, it could be associated, more masculine, but it's now women can do both.
100%.
They can look good, fit check, do all the good stuff, and still rock in sports.
Absolutely.
Well,
Like
and
the WNBA have a little lineup when they come out in their outfits and their handbags,
Yeah.
right?
Well, and I think that also speaks to like also business sense. So all these people that didn't invest in women's sports, like there is a huge market for Sephora and fashion and all of these things that like you could pair with these female athletes that you couldn't necessarily do with the male athletes, right? So like it's this full untapped market that people just didn't recognize or didn't. I don't know. I guess they didn't think about it. I'm not really sure, but I feel like that's something as well that you're seeing this explosion because they can partner with like the WNBA partners with Sephora.
Yeah.
Right. Sephora's never going to partner with the NBA, like, and they're a huge
that phone call
brand.
didn't get returned, right? Yeah.
Or like hair products, whatever.
Yes.
So it's just like a whole market that's just been untapped for so long.
Because they do the walk-ins, right?
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then I saw the PWHL was starting to do that.
That they should.
Absolutely.
It's a huge part of it.
Yeah.
Thing.
But like I'm going to sound like the old man here, okay? But like when I started hearing about more and more sports were walking away from dressing up to arrive at the arena, I think that's part of the beauty of it. I love it when the Oil Kings players come in. And like when they're riding on a bus, that's different. Okay. Like if you're going to be riding on a bus to Brandon, Manitoba, wear your sweatpants. Okay. Like bring your pillow, bring your yoga mat, bring your sweatpants.
Yes.
Good. But when they arrive at the rink, they are dressed. And they're wearing, and like the color combinations these kids wear now drive me bananas. The fact that their socks don't match, like,
They're corny. It's the same thing.
It's a fashion. It's fashion. Okay, yeah.
we got this one player from, I'll call him straight out, from Grand Prairie, Alberta. His name's Landon Hansen. And Hanny has these like super blue leather shoes. And like they're the brightest blue you've ever seen. Doesn't wear socks, short pants. And like from a mile away, I'm like, that's not for me. Okay?
I love that.
Yeah, but that's what I mean, right?
You would love
Oh yeah, I call him out on it all the
There's
time.
a trend right now to have like
Yeah.
short pants that come
Loafers.
up and loafers and no
so
socks.
bad.
Yeah.
Also, just like ew,
Yeah.
no
That's
socks
what I
in your
mean,
shoes.
right?
It's
No socks.
disgusting.
You gotta have the no-show socks.
Something.
Yeah.
Come on, like you got. There's a science behind it. Your feet stink. They absorb the sweat in the shoe. Just get some no-show
That's
socks.
right.
You're gonna be all right.
Okay,
There's
let me
some
ask you
great
a
ones at
question.
Costco.
Everyone that's here today, when you wear socks, do they match or do you care? You grab whatever?
Always match.
It
They
depends.
And if
hold
I got
on,
Nike
it
shoes on, I got
depends.
Nike socks on.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
You OCD?
maybe.
What's wrong with that?
No, I've been accused. of doing
I don't know, like maybe, but like it's a thing. Same thing with basketball shoes. Like if you're, it's like a cardinal sin if you got like Under Armour shoes or Adidas shoes and you got
Yeah,
a
put it
different
together.
brand.
I have a big
Yeah.
issue with that
That's
too.
true. I agree
have
with
to
you in
have-
that.
If the
See, it
socks
depends.
if the
Yeah.
socks are showing above the shoe,
Yeah.
they have to have matching brands.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I get that.
Right?
I get it.
But like,
It's the
will you
details,
put on
always.
socks that don't
Details are
match?
important.
Would you do it?
No,
I
I
wouldn't.
would be infuriated.
Yeah. no
100%.
way.
Like I would never let myself get to that point. First off, like my socks are always matched. Like they're put together, right?
Well, and also like when I grab them, they're just matched already. So I don't know
That's
when
what
I
I
would ever
mean.
be in a situation where my
Right?
socks wouldn't match.
Yeah, but like my daughters could care less. Like I'm talking blue sock, pink sock, and I'm just like, you're not leaving the house like that. They're like,
be the same way.
right?
Yeah.
But I'm a grumpy old man. Like I get it, right? I'm just like, that's not the world I live in. Like
this
we have
one.
order. Yes, we have order in life.
I got very frustrated. My brother, for some reason, did laundry at my place, and he did a load of socks and towels and stuff. And he's like, I fold, because he had to stay at my place for a few days. And he's like, I folded your socks for you. And guess what? I was pissed off because he put two right socks together and two left socks together.
No.
You know, the L and the R.
Details.
I know.
Details.
He's an idiot.
Yeah.
But the to your point of like the game day stuff, that's a part of my job that I love. It's like most of the time, like during the week, I mean, I came straight from a workout with the girls, so like I'm like this. Game day hits though,
Yeah.
then you get to flex
You're
that
dialed
side a
up,
little bit and have a
100%.
game
You
day.
flex
fit.
that side.
Love it.
Yeah,
I love it. It's fun. On the road though,
No.
no. But like at home,
There's time and place.
yeah.
And like I love being in a suit at the arena because like now it's like game time for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if we're doing stuff, let's say we're setting stuff up or whatever, I'll always wear like casual clothing. And then when it's game time, I'm in a suit.
Yeah.
And when you start seeing these players, and I'll pick on NBA players that are coming in, and I think that they don't look well dressed. But I'm sure that what they're wearing is worth more than the truck I'm driving right now. Like, I get it. But what I love is when the players come in, it looks like they're still able to show their style, right? Like I said, like Landon Hansen wants to wear the shiny shoes, go nuts. But you're dressed up. You're not coming to the arena on a game day wearing wearing sweatpants and a hoodie and whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're elevating it. And even if it's only from the walk from the front door to the dressing room, it's still important. And it's those little things, they mean something.
It's respect for one.
Absolutely it is.
And secondly, I feel like it's a confidence builder.
Yep.
It's
You feel good, play good.
100%.
Feel good, play
Look
good.
play
right?
good. That's real for sure.
That's real.
One of my favorite things is like, so the girls usually get there before I do because they're doing their dynamic, they're doing their warm up, whatever. And as soon as I get to the gym, the first thing I do is I walk into the gymnasium and then they hype me up whatever I'm wearing. And it's like this little moment that we share when there's no one in the crowd. It's just like, doing this for you. Like, this is for you.
Nope.
That's not aura.
That's just aura. That's just aura.
No.
Yeah.
That's just aura.
Yeah, it happened naturally. It's just like one of those things. It's like a
Exactly.
little bonding moment for us before the game, being like, I did this for you.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Adorable.
That's like my favorite part of game day.
I like that.
That and winning. But.
Yeah,
well,
winning's pretty good.
winning's
Yeah.
Speaking of looking good, portions of this hour brought to you by The Hive Product Marketing, the official merch partner of EST, promotional products that bring the buzz. Check them out at thehiveproductmarketing.com. Nice toss there.
There you go.
We still have a bunch of EST merch that's available. You can go on our website, edmontonsportstalk.com, and we'll curate a new online shop, I think, in the fall. Awanek's taking care of that. Tom Gazzola, Jasmine Sidhu, Kiera Lyons from Nate Women's Basketball head coach, and then Kevin Radomski, director of business ops and alternate governor for the Edmonton Oil Kings with you. You can text us 780-218-9999. Get to the nasty chat as well. Did you want to get to anything before I drop a question?
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, well, we talked about the Oil Kings, and it led to Princess Night, which is awesome, and another wonderful conversation. But, Kiera, how did things go for your team after you were just having aura walking into the gym? How did everything go with your girls this year?
Really good. We had since I've taken over, we had our best season, first winning season, which was super exciting. First semester was tough. We underperformed for sure, had some other struggles, but we went 10-3 in our second semester.
Wow.
We played Kings, we lost to Kings, had two really close games with them, but they were the top team in the North, and then made it to the Final 8 tournament, which was hosted at Nate, which was super fun. But we played St. Mary's in the quarterfinal, who ended up being the second best team in the country. They went to nationals in the final, and gave them a game. Like, they absolutely kicked the crap out of us in the first semester. So showing up to that game, not being afraid of them, and actually like competing and put a little fear in them, I think was really fun. And then played two teams on the Constellation side that beat us first semester and kind of whooped them a little bit. So it felt really good. And we don't graduate anybody. So. Yeah, so winning is very motivating. So girls they're putting in lots of work already this summer. Like, we're getting into the gym 3-5 times a week, depending, and they're super excited and motivated. So I'm excited for next year.
Okay, this was 2 seasons ago. I think I was asking how things were going, and you were doing everything, and you said you were doing the recruiting, and it was tough, and you're driving all over the place. How's that going? I mean, you're having success. Your team's doing well, so I'm assuming fruits of that labor are starting to come up and pop up.
Yeah, I think like my recruiting's definitely different now, because at that point we were, I was trying to bring in my team at that point, right? Like my first year, I got the job really late, so and they had graduated pretty much everybody, and so it was kind of like the girls that had already signed, they didn't sign with me. I hadn't recruited them, so it's taken a couple years for it to be girls that have picked Nate and that we have picked, and the culture that we want has really started to develop. And once that culture started to develop, my recruiting became much easier, because now it's like like-minded athletes are seeking us out instead. So it's not so much me having to hit the road and do that nearly as much. I still do, but it's, they're coming to us, and it makes my life a lot easier. And then not graduating anybody, there's not a whole lot of spots that we need to fill. Right. I'm still working on a couple, and hoping to sign them by the end of this month. Like, would be fantastic. But yeah, so it's our team now, and we've had a season of that, a season of growth, and to have veterans for the first time. Like our MVP this year, she actually graduated school and she decided she's going to come back and play her 5th year just because it's something I push all the time. I'm like, you only get 5. You only get 5. You're going to work for the rest of your life. Like, you need to finish out your career. Your role is different every single year. You learn something different every single year. And so the fact that she's done school and coming back just so she can play is like huge for our program, and it's huge for her. And it's just really, it's really exciting. And it's also a part of setting up the next girls. You know, we got rookies coming in that get to play against her every single day, you know, and our other seniors that are sticking around too, right? We have 3 seniors this year, and we haven't had any 5th years since I've been there. So we can't use the excuse that we're young anymore, which is like the flip side of that. But it's exciting that a lot of that culture load is off of my shoulders. They know what we want. They know what we're protecting. They know the expectations. And now it's not my voice all the time. It's our leaders, it's our veterans that are echoing those things. And I can focus on other things, which is like huge for us as well. So it's fun. And Peyton, just a little shout out to her. We were in the Final 8 tournament, and she led the tournament in scoring. She was 27 points per game.
Nice.
She had a 41 point performance in our second game, like just absolutely killed. So it's a big deal for her to come back.
I think it's like the hardest thing to create culture.
Yeah.
Right? Like, especially if you have a culture that's not great, right? And for you being the leader, you know the culture you want. You can see the culture you have. And if they're the same thing, then you're good. But if you're just like, I need more buy-in, or I need more, you know what I mean? And to your point, it's so hard to get that. But then once you have it, it's so much easier to nurture it rather than cultivate it.
Totally. Well,
right?
and I've found that like the players that don't align, the athletes that don't align, they just kind of fall away,
Yep.
right? Like
They know they don't fit.
They don't feel comfortable in our team room, and that's exactly what we want. We want the girls that want to be in the gym all the time. Like I know my first couple of years, it was really hard for me to get girls to put in extra work. Now it's like they're reaching out to me. They want to get in, they want to do extra things. And so when new girls join our team, when we have rookies that join, and we only have two first years that are joining us, it's just an expectation. It's not, oh, let's do these extra things. It's like all of the veterans and all your leaders are doing it. So like you're expected to do that. And if you're not doing that, then don't expect to grow. Don't expect to play. Don't expect to improve, because like if you're only putting in time in practice, that's not enough.
Yeah.
Right? Like you have to be putting in so much more. And
You
so
gotta want it.
yeah.
Right?
And that it feels like the players that don't align with that, you know, no longer fit, and they kind of leave, and it opens up space for girls that do. And it's just like, you know, same attracts same. And I feel like that's with our culture. And it's something that's absolutely emotionally exhausted me over the last couple of years. Like, as much as I love this job, like, and I do with my full heart and soul, man, it's hard. It's so hard on me. And sometimes I'm just like, I could sleep for a week, but it also, now that we're starting to see a little bit of success and I don't have to do as much, it's so rewarding. And I'm just excited for the girls to have, you know, the fruits of their work like really show. And yeah, it's fun.
Is that heart? They need heart.
Yeah, and you can't do anything about that.
Yeah.
That's just, they got it or they don't, right? So, and I definitely, something that I've learned, like, potential is a scary word. It's either, I feel like you either have it or you don't, and I'm definitely learning that.
Well, I think that desire to go above and beyond, it's either in you or it's not, right? And that's in every walk and every facet of life. That's in school, that's at work, that's at sport. And if you're happy with mediocrity, that's fine. But
Yeah,
then,
but I don't want it.
exactly. But that's what I mean. Like, we have a place
Yeah.
for that, right? Like there's a place for that, but it's not here. And if all you want to be is horribly average, that's good for you. But you're not going to excel. You're never going to be that person that helps your team drive if all you're looking for is how little do I have to put in, and sign me up for that.
Yeah.
Like, those are the people that they think that they're giving full effort, and you can see their potential, but then they don't have the drive.
And I don't understand.
No.
Well, and the like crazy part too is, oh God, I had a really good thought there, and now my train of thought has
It'll come
completely
back.
disappeared.
Yeah.
It'll come back. It'll come back for
I
sure.
was gonna ask you about the recruiting, because I think you were telling me a little bit about like competing with youth sport and pandas and all that. Like, how has that?
I mean, I don't really
process
compete with pandas. If they're going to pandas,
Well,
they're going
no,
to pandas.
I know, but, like,
I wish.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the growth of the game comes with like growing pains a little bit, right? And so the fact that we have so many more youth sports schools is amazing, because it means that there's a demand for more female basketball and more female sports in general, just sports in general. But then there's also like when I played, there was a very like distinct line, right? Like you were either a U Sport player or an ACAC player. And if you went like, so my journey was I played 2 years ACAC because I knew I needed a couple years buffer and development. And then I went U Sport after that. Right now, all those bubble kids go straight to U Sport because they have opportunities at smaller schools that are a little bit less competitive. And so they go to U Sport. They're not really making U Sport any better, and they're not making the ACAC better, which they could be. And so there's, those growing pains with that, but I'm taking it as a positive. I think eventually that we'll get to a point where we get to a point where that line is kind of redeveloped because the development of the game and the players is so much better. But yeah, the competing with those kind of border schools can be difficult for sure. And just trying to let the girls know, like, I want you to have the best experience, and sometimes when you're going to a level that maybe you're not ready for because you just want to play U Sport or you want to play in the States or whatever it is, like sometimes that's not the best thing for you. Go somewhere you're going to have a good experience where you're going to play and develop. And then when you're ready and that opportunity presents itself, then take that extra step. But it feels like a lot of bubble kids that would really do well in the ACAC are going U Sport and not necessarily having the time that they expected.
Yeah. And the impact.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
We did get a question via the inbox, 780-218-9999. It's from a Tief who was terrible today on Kinda Easy Trivia. And his your singing voice it needs work, Atif. I'm sorry. Atif says, hey guys, do you think Edmonton can support another professional team, either the WNBA or the PWHL? We did at one time have an NLL team. Dahmer, you and I remember when the Rush were kicking around.
were here, yeah.
What do you guys think, PWHL or WNBA here in Edmonton?
You want to go first?
Sure. I don't think we're there. I think the Stingers are doing really well. And I think that's incredible. And every year, everything in that league and with that team and that organization gets better. And we had a wonderful showing with the WNBA when the game was here. I don't know that we're there yet. I would love to have that in the future. But I do think it just needs a little bit of time to kind of cultivate that excitement, that energy, and that visibility on both sides. So I just would hate for it to happen and fail.
Yeah.
So I think that we just need a little bit more time, and women's sports need a little bit more time because there's still a lot of disrespect. Like the amount of like guys that played junior high basketball that think that they could beat me in a 1-on-1. They're like 5'7" and played in junior high. And like,
that would get me out of bed every
so
morning.
rude. No, you can't.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
I love it.
Kiera's fierce, by the way.
I'm injured right now. I'm injured right now, but I'll still do it.
What's funny is I think people, I think they have a hard time separating a season from a game. So we sold out a PWHL game.
And a WNBA game.
Exactly,
Yeah.
right? So they sold out, but then will they sell out 30 times?
Yeah.
No. Like the Edmonton Oil Kings, like we play 34 games at Rogers Place and we don't sell out one. We do very well for attendance, but like Rogers Place for a junior hockey setup is 18,100 people. And people think that 18,000 people, I could just call a couple friends, 18,000 people.
No.
You have no idea what it takes to try and sell 1,000 tickets, let alone 10,000 tickets, let alone 18,000 tickets. And then when you start figuring it out, then you start saying, well, you got to do it several times. And I don't think people realize the grind and the commitment that's needed from the city to support it on an ongoing basis. And what I worry about, exactly what you were saying, is I worry that we speed things along, we quickly bring a franchise in, and it's not ready yet. And then all of a sudden it flounders, or it doesn't do as well, and then it dies. Whereas if we allow it to cultivate, we allow it to grow steam, we get that demand so that people are frothing at the mouth for it, and then you bring it, it has the ability to succeed.
Well, and support our women's sports that are here already.
darn right.
Like how often do the Pandas hockey games sell out? How often do the Pandas like never?
Yeah.
So we need to have some interest there, and I think we need to have better like promotion of those things and really investing in like those lower levels.
Yeah.
Like Pandas hockey is in even Bears, like how often do they sell out? Like it's and that's unbelievable hockey, and that's the best in the country on both sides.
Yep.
So, and same with our volleyball, same with like Pandas and Bears sports is absolutely incredible. It is some of the best, if not the best in the country historically. They win a national title in some sort of sport every single year, have for
It's almost
25
expected.
years.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
Yep.
And you go to a Pandas or a Bears basketball game or a volleyball game, unless they're hosting a national event, and even then, like the crowds are not what they should be. So like I think if we're gonna think about having a professional women's team, whether it's WNBA, like let's focus on our college athletes. Let's get some interest in that first, and then build from there. And I think if we just skip
Be intentional about it.
if we just skip right to a big professional team, I think you're making a big mistake.
I always was blown away. Like here at Edmonton, we had Jelena Marjanovic, the boxer.
Yep.
World-class boxer. And the amount of people that thought she was okay. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Beat the crap out of you.
Right? Like, and she's beautiful too, right? For a woman that's been punched in the face for 20 years, beautiful. And like, great person. And to me, I'm just like, but there was not enough people celebrating Jelena Marjanovic when she was fighting for world titles here at Edmonton. And I'm like, I'm almost embarrassed to say, like, we have one of the best fighters in the world. Not Northern Alberta, the world. And yet she wasn't selling out here.
Even the ploufs.
Yeah.
Like people love to celebrate it in the moment. Like when they're at the Olympics, in those moments they celebrate it. But I'm like, there should be statues of them. Like they are they've been to the Olympics multiple times. They are the best 3x3 players in the world. They were some of the best 5-on-5 players in the world. Like Michelle was the first out of Edmonton to be drafted by the WNBA. Like they are unbelievable athletes. And they're not celebrated, in my opinion, nearly enough. So it's same thing. Like we've got some unbelievable athletes here, and I think we need to focus on that first.
Almost it's almost like music, right? Where you've got all these live venues that are folding up, because I came from the live music background, right? Yeah. And so you start seeing these young people who are playing their guitars in their bands. There's nowhere for them to play. Well, then we wonder why bands aren't coming the way they used to come, because there's nowhere for them to get their chops.
Right.
Like back in the old days, you played a 500-seat room, and you had 100 people there, and then you started playing bigger rooms, and all of a sudden you start getting record deals. Well, people are saying nowadays, well, how come the music sucks? Well, there's nowhere for these young musicians to play. And here at Edmonton especially, like start naming off these venues that do well. They don't. And it's because no one comes out. They just want to consume it at their leisure without the passion. And it's the same thing with junior sports. It's the same thing with anything that isn't professional. It takes reps to get you from the desire to the professional levels. And if that's a music contract, if that's a professional contract, if you don't have the audience supporting you, you're not going to pay the bills to get you from A to B. And it dies on the vine. It stops there.
Yeah.
And it's the same stuff.
Jazzy, what do you got?
Avery in the nasty chat says Edmonton needs a mid-size venue.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Totally.
And like other Canadian cities have.
Yep.
I was actually thinking about that with the PWHL game, because I was at that game and it felt so big. Like, and
Because it was.
Yeah, right. Even like the ice surface is just like, it's such a different look of like having, and that's exactly what I was thinking too, is like, and the Expo Center is actually a perfect size venue, but it's just not something that they have access to all the time. So it's
due to like the Stingers games and such.
Yeah. So they're out of the Expo Center. It's perfect. It's a perfect size venue for that, because it's, you get 3,000 people in there and it is loud and packed and it feels,
But
like
that creates that
atmosphere's
energy in the atmosphere.
Totally.
Right? There's nothing worse than playing in front of a whole, like a big building with a small crowd.
Yes.
And the Oil Kings struggle with it. If we're on a Tuesday night in December, there's 3,000 people there. It looks like 300 because the lower bowl is 9,300, right? And so it's tough. But when you get the teddy bear tosses with 18,000 people, you love it. And then in between the two, like I get jealous of places like Red Deer that have 7,000 seats for their building. And I'm like, you have urgency, you have scarcity, you have great environment, because it's a small market in Red Deer. And Red Deer's a good sized town, but they support the Rebels extremely well. And I think the Sutter family does a tremendous job with the Red Deer Rebels. But I get jealous of saying, if I only had to sell 7,000 tickets, the atmosphere I could have 34 nights a year, rather than really struggling to draw on the smaller nights, but then being happy I've got the seats on the bigger nights. And so you kind of live in between the two, right? But to your point, if we had a more mid-sized venue here in the city, it would allow these sports or these artists to entertain on the way up. You know what I mean?
Event center in the plans right beside the
100%.
arena, which is great. Catherine Plouffe signed right above you, Kiera. She's awesome. And I should mention, too, the EST Hangout is presented by Sentinel Storage, Canada's storage experts, more than 2 decades of helping Canadians through life's transitions. Canadian storage provider, sentinel.ca. Oops, sorry, Tiger. Gazzola, Jasmine, Kiera, Lyons, Kevin Radomski with you. Text us 780-218-9999. Get to the nasty chat. Betty Thompson behind the monitors as well and the board. Jazzy, you travel around. Like, Jasmine's our resident like NBA guru on things, but like, what's your sense of the city and like a PWHL or WHL
Well, actually,
team?
I was thinking about, and I really do agree with you. You need to, you need to get one game sold. It's hard to do 30. I was thinking about Vancouver, how they got their 7 PWHL team. Like,
Yeah.
do you think they'll strive there?
Well, look at how big that metro population is there, right? And I think with Edmonton, we always punch above our weight class here. Like we have a Metro Million here. And that Metro Million, you take a look at how much we support, they have 3 times that amount there, right? So I would say to you, with more people comes more opportunity, but their ability to draw, it's going to be tested. And it's going to be neat to see how it succeeds. I hope it succeeds very well.
I do too. I just feel like the culture there is so different. I feel like in Edmonton, people are sports people, as opposed to they're wishy-washy, as they are with their main NHL team. Just saying. Okay.
They're the worst.
Why would you talk about your own fan?
Congratulations to the Abbotsford Canucks.
Absolutely.
By the way.
Huge win.
That was a huge win.
She loves looked
Juja
really good.
Kiera, Juja Kiera, Archie Baines,
That's right.
Malhotra. Just a shout out to South Asians because it's a big
There we
day
go.
for them yesterday.
You bet.
Just saying, yeah.
Big win.
But I'm going to jump on that for a second. So here, the Edmonton Oilers go to the Stanley Cup Final, Game 6 this year, Game 7 last year. Don't win. No riots. No problems.
Yeah.
A lot of
Everybody's
depressed.
too heartbroken.
That's right. A lot of depressed people, right?
Even still.
But like what I love
still.
about our town, exactly to your point, we love it. And I think here at Edmonton, we wear it on our sleeves, right? This is still a handshake town. You'll do a contract because you want it on paper, but what did I tell you I was going to do? I shake your hand, we're done. We're good.
Blue collar.
Absolutely. And I wouldn't change that for the world. But what I loved about everything that you were seeing with the Oilers is they still achieved very well. They didn't win. They didn't win at all. They came as close as you can get without winning last year. Great series this year. There was no cars on fire. There was no, there was no one flipping buildings on their side because they were so mad and distraught. And again, I was so proud as an Edmontonian, we didn't have to deal with that.
You're right. I don't even think I saw a YEG Wave video.
Can I say something really quick?
There we go, Tommy.
So the day after Edmonton lost last week, Game 6, I hopped on with Donnie and Dally in Vancouver. And they're like, wow, there's no riots or whatever.
What a concept.
Yeah. And I'm like, hey, where would you get that idea from, guys? and then they're like, but what's up with Edmonton fans like fighting each other? I'm like, well, it's coming from the Moss. You got 18-year-olds being idiots, drunk, and stuff like that. I have to say though, and I did have one guy like after he watched that segment, he's like, oh, so Tom Gazzola thinks it's better to beat each other up than to break buildings and stuff. Yeah, bruises heal. Bruises heal. Like property damage is not cool.
Yeah.
Chicks dig bruises. I'm kidding. I'm not encouraging fighting on the streets, but it did happen. But I have to give credit to like the city. They shut down 104th Ave. As I was walking to go do post game from the rink to the ice house, I would see like it dissipated really well. So I'll give the city some props because we don't always give the city props for good reason, but in that regard, they deserve a little bit of love.
I think that they were a good partner in understanding that if we don't celebrate this, we don't make it safe for everyone, then we have risk, right?
Yeah.
And I think the hardest thing with the city is trying to make it so that people can enjoy, they can revel, they can kind of congregate, but then there still has to be a plan for the dissipation of that. Like, okay, now the party's done, game's over. How are you getting home?
Yep.
But then people are still driving. Like for the million people that live here, you have a roundup. You got 20,000 people inside the building. You got 10,000 plus people outside the building. So you got 30,000 people out of a million that are consuming it directly at Ice District. Well, there's still like basically a million people that don't care or aren't there that are still trying to drive from A to B.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that plan for being like I don't care about hockey, I just need to get to work right now, and every street's shut down. No, they had a really good plan to manage and mitigate that, right? And I really think that was kudos to the city because you're right. Like we don't talk about them enough as a partner by saying, listen, there's something big that's going to happen here, and we don't know when those games are. Like one of the struggles is when you're in the playoffs, you see the schedule. But until you lose game X or win game Y, there is no game Z. And sometimes that's 24 hours. It's like, you know what, if you're down 3-1 and you win, you're playing 2 days from now. And you start thinking about all the staff that have to amass and everything that has to happen with snap of a finger. And it does happen because there's been tremendous planning behind it all. And that's where I think that you don't hear about these these huge retaliations of people that are just frustrated. Because usually it's the frustration, whether it be the result of the sport or the result of them saying, I wanted to do X and I can't do X.
Right.
It's the retaliation that causes the trouble. And there was none of that. Like the ability for people to easily enter the downtown core and easily exit the downtown core, really, I thought was key in us keeping the water tepid.
As a neighbor to Rogers Place, I appreciated that. Okay, I wanted to ask you, in case you brought up the Stingers, Kiera, you were part of the staff a couple of years ago. I saw you were at the game with our friend Brett Prendergast the other day. Tell us, give us the scope of the Stingers. We should have, the Stingers games are broadcast on EST as well, which is huge, but how is the vibe there? How is the team doing? I saw Xavier Moon was back in town. Give us the down low on everything right now.
Yeah, it gets better every year. From the ground up, the atmosphere, the entertainment, the level of player and compete. Every year it just continues to get better, and I go to almost all of the games, and it's always exciting. They do such an incredible job of creating an exciting atmosphere for everybody. That's it. You can be, Xavier Moon sitting courtside, or you can be have your kids there, and there's something for everybody. And there's just there's so much excitement with the music and all the things that they do in between with the timeouts. And people love, I'm not a fan of the target score because I'm a coach.
You don't like it?
It takes the strategy for a coach out. But for the average fan, it's so exciting.
Yes.
Right? Because it doesn't drag on with the timeouts and the fouling and, all the things that happen with the last 3-4 minutes of a basketball game. It takes that out. So the average fan, it's just you just got to score. There's no clock management. There's nothing like that. It's just score, stop, score, and that's the name of the game.
I hadn't thought of the difference from a coach's perspective.
There's no clock management. There's no using fouls.
Yeah.
There's so it takes all of that out.
Kind of disregarded all of your coaching.
Sorry, people are cheering and all. It's good. It's good.
So but people love it because everything ends on a game-winning shot, and people just love that. And it can be so exciting. As much as I don't like it, it's also incredibly exciting most of the time. But yeah, they've just done an incredible job with that league. And I'm so proud to have been a part of it. And it's great. And they had such a good weekend. They, won both games. They played in Red Deer against Calgary, and they had a really good showing in Red Deer. So it was a little showcase game.
Yep.
And then they played Winnipeg, who's been one of the top teams in the league, beat them as well. So they're on their way up. They tend to have a struggle at the beginning of the season and then kind of find their footing. It's kind of the style of Baker and his coaching staff is they struggle a little bit at the beginning and then find their footing, and then they always have a strong finish. So I expect nothing less.
Former Nate coach as well, Jordan Baker.
And Adika, who's the Nate coach right now. He's an assistant. He played for the Stingers for 6 years or whatever it was, and now he's the head coach of the men's team as well. So lots of interlock. They train at a Nate as well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Peyton, one of our players, our veteran, works for them. So there's lots of connections. Yeah.
But what's awesome is that you don't need to be a hardcore basketball fan to be entertained and to enjoy Stingers games. And I'll say this, the Edmonton Riverhawks, when I went, I think 2 seasons ago, and it was a beautiful night down in the valley, having a beer with some friends. I didn't know one player on the Riverhawks team. Didn't matter. I had a great time because the entertainment that, they had something the other day, or maybe they're doing it, the running of the gingers and stuff like that, right?
Yes, that's all Vogel.
Yeah, 100%. But I get jealous of that. I'm I can't do that. But it looks like you're having fun with it. But what I love about it is that it's tons of fun. And you don't have to be a baseball enthusiast to understand that the Edmonton Riverhawks are a tremendous value. And they're a great addition to the crown jewels of Edmonton sport. Right. And they're doing such a great job. Randy and Ryan Gregg are doing such a great job down there. Steve Hogel, all of them. And I love seeing their success. Just like I love watching the Stingers succeed because I do believe that a tide rises all boats. The higher the water, all of our boats go a little bit higher when people start really supporting I'd say semi-pro or junior or whatever type of sport, because that's where the beauty is.
And I think one of the things I find cool about the Stingers was a couple years ago, you'd have to, do you know who the Stingers are to most people? Now you say it and people know. People know who it is. You 100%. See it around the city. And I think
they've done a great job.
Yeah, and the talent is unbelievable. I mean, they Xavier Moon played 3 seasons in the NBA, and there's a lot of guys that go from the CEBL and play in the NBA. So it's not it's not like a bunch of middle-aged guys that are just doing this for fun. Like they are legit athletes that are either like pursuing NBA or come back after they're done, and like it's amazing. Like the how good the basketball is so impressive.
And that's why they sell games, because they're a good team. You need a good team in order to get viewership.
I also like we get a taste of basketball culture in the city, and your basketball. We always talk about your aficionado. Yeah. I could see. Do you go to a lot of those games? Have you been?
Stingers games?
Yeah.
I will go this year.
Okay, and she's gonna be jazzed up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, of course. But
No
it
other
is
way,
cool.
right?
We do have there is a basketball culture in the
Absolutely.
city, and you do get to see it at those games. I'm like, oh, I like it.
And there's other things like the food and that experience there too. People are like, oh, that's the affordability to go is all there too, right? So
Yeah,
No,
it's a good point.
it's big.
I should mention too, guys, that the official drink of the EST Hangout is the Finnish Long Drink, legend of 1952, a drink unlike any other, sparkling refreshment, real liquor, longdrink.com/Canada. That was terrible. You can get it at Rogers Place as well. It's the pride of Helsinki.
The pride of Helsinki.
Yeah, 1952 Olympics. When I got to Helsinki, they're like, "Have you had long drink?" What are you talking about?
here it is.
Olympics. And I'm like, okay, give me some of that. It's delicious. It's delicious. Okay, Jazzy.
Did
go.
you guys get a chance to watch the NBA final? Even just a little bit.
I watched a
A
little,
little bit,
of it.
yeah. I was at the Stingers game. Unfortunately, there was that crossover, but yeah, a bit of it.
Yeah, I mean, after Halliburton got injured, Pacers still kept OKC in the game. Obviously, OKC took it and they won. Not the most exciting game by any chance, so I don't blame anybody for not really watching it or paying attention to it. But did you guys see the celebrations by any chance? Okay, so you guys, know about the youth in sports. What did you think about their celebrations? Were you proud of them, or were you more so, what the heck?
Which part like of the
Yeah.
celebrations?
We're talking on the court? Or
No,
are we talking off the court?
was another.
I didn't see much off the court.
I'll
Really.
stoke this fire. I saw Lou Dort with a Canadian flag wrapped around him and ski goggles,
Yep.
and I was like,
Yep.
why isn't he soaked in champagne yet?
Yep.
So they
was not.
basically
There we go. There's a video
they had
there.
a pretty civilized celebration
Yeah.
that they're just so young and innocent. They didn't even know how to open the champagne bottles. And
But I think there's a purity to that,
Yes,
right? Like
absolutely.
really is.
or like this Gen Z aspect to it.
Well, and
too.
Jay Williams, they were he'd never had alcohol before, and he was
Yeah.
like, I had champagne and beer and a shot. And he was like, it was all disgusting.
He's like, I like
Yes, it
Shirley
was.
Temple.
Yeah.
I'll stick to my Shirley Temples.
Yeah.
But you know what's funny though is that sport is changing. It really, really is, right? And I have the privilege of working with a lot of young people at the Oilers Entertainment Group, and their attitudes towards health, wellness, alcohol, all of it is different. And it's not a bad thing. But then when we see these celebrations, these are different than when I was growing up, right? And I'm still a guy that says that you should be wearing ski goggles. Like, I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah.
just take the pain. Okay, you won the championship.
Oh, I loved my ski goggles.
That's awesome.
It's the I don't know
You
how
can
many
carry
pictures-
on, right?
I don't know how many pictures I had in my ski goggles. Like one of them's pinned on my Instagram page because it's not even like it's not about. I don't even think I ever had them over my eyes. It was just like
Okay,
up here to
but
be
that's what I'm
like
saying. Yeah,
this
yeah,
is for the champagne,
Yeah.
just so
Yeah.
everybody knows.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a
yeah.
I loved
flex
it.
though.
Totally.
Like, it's part of that,
Cigar,
yes.
goggles,
There's
had my
nothing
net
better
around.
than
You know?
championships, right?
Yeah.
Like there's nothing better.
Yeah.
And the bond that it brings and the celebration and like I know some people are saying that the Florida Panthers and their second celebration might be a little bit too much.
They're still going.
Oh, yeah.
Today.
Oh yeah.
They were,
Oh yeah.
They're
But,
at
like-
a pool drinking right now.
I would.
One,
be.
I know,
one of
I
the
bet
things I
they-
loved is when Ovechkin won it. He's swimming in a fountain
Yeah.
in Vegas with the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
I'm like, give me more of that.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
Personality.
Yes. And unapologetic personality. Like, remember when Ovechkin, when they won the Eastern Conference Championship, and they were like, we don't know if they're going to touch it. He like took it with him on the plane. He had it in his bed. And I'm like, I love it. Like I love all of it,
Totally.
right? And even this past year, like Connor McDavid touched the trophy. Everyone's
Yes.
like, oh my God, he touched the trophy.
Best
Well, he's
thing.
like, well, we didn't touch it last year and we
Doesn't
didn't win,
matter.
so I might as well break the tradition.
Yeah.
And guess what? It was the same result. So it
Exactly.
doesn't matter.
It
Like
doesn't
celebrate,
matter.
right?
Yes.
Like have fun with it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I respect tradition, but I also respect the fact that you touching a trophy, us saying the word shutout with 30 seconds left in a 0-0 game or a 1-0 game does not impact the ability of the goalie on the ice to stop a puck. But what I love is if I said the word shutout and we get scored on with 20 seconds left, the whole team would be like, you said the word shutout.
Exactly.
Like that's the reason why we lost tonight. I love it. I love that mentality, but I also love it when people go the other way with it and just say, I'm going to take that trophy and I'm going to celebrate like a bugger right now because I want to win the big one, but I'm going to celebrate this because this still means something. So
As you
yeah,
should.
I do think that the Panthers are a little too much right now, but at the same time, I love the fact of what they're doing and the whole Marchand thing with Dairy Queen and the Blizzards. Like
Yes.
when we talk about organic content, they asked a question. He's like, like first off, like who doesn't love ice cream? Like if you guys had ice cream here, I would be eating it at 10 o'clock in the morning. Like absolutely, like I love all ice creams.
I think we have some in the freezer.
That's a verbal contract, but you know what I mean. And then you take a look at. They win the Stanley Cup, and he's serving Blizzards at a Dairy Queen in Florida.
Yes.
He's serving them.
Yes.
I'm like, how we got from here to there is amazing to me. But I just love every inch of it because that's part of the ride.
Yeah.
You know?
Those little things are kind of neat, actually.
Yeah, I think so.
That's part of the prize.
Yes.
Right?
And that's part of the thing that when you look back on it, you're like, how in the hell did Brad Marchand wind up serving Blizzards at a Dairy Queen? And then you go back to where it all started. And to our very, very first point, we started talking, when it is purposely manufactured, it doesn't stick. But when it's like, I love ice cream. And like I heard Bill Zito bought a Dairy Queen, is what I've heard. I don't know if that's true or not. I've heard that.
Hilarious.
Maybe one of your texters could text in and tell me if that's real. I heard that Bill Zito bought a Dairy Queen. If that's the case, I love it. Go.
Kind of funny.
Yeah.
That is kind of funny. Benny, what do you got? You got anything in the nasty chat?
I was just looking through. Just like Scott Thompson and my wife and I were impressed. This is dating back to what we're talking about with the Riverhawks. They have a very good vibe there. I've been in a couple
Absolutely.
games. They're great there.
I guess again a winning culture though,
Yeah,
right?
And
That
like
attracts
when they
you.
were
Yeah.
when they were winning last year, I remember there was a real big buzz around the Riverhawks
totally.
last year. I remember like it became a thing in our friend group. Like we need to go.
Yep.
So
And I went a few times too
Yeah,
with my
yeah.
friends.
But-
because
But
it was
when
a
the
thing.
weather is
Yeah.
like, hey, when it's pouring rain, like
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
miserable experience,
Yeah.
okay? But
Yeah.
it's like the Edmonton Oilers we used to own a baseball team, right? It was the Edmonton Capitals
I
and the
remember.
Golden Baseball League.
Yeah.
And what I could tell you is every time we had a homestand, it was pouring rain. It's kind of like what we've had this last week. That was a homestand. And then we'd go somewhere and it was like the most beautiful sun. It was like ball field was empty. But I could tell you that when it's like 20, 25 above, there's just a nice breeze coming out. Those beers are cold and great. Like there's no place I'd rather be than down at the Remax Field. It's just so beautiful. I love it. It's a real gem.
Give me a beer bat.
Let's go.
Those
Yeah.
so good. So good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I told Tommy and Maddie this. I'm like, it's like a patio. You're
Yep.
sitting outside in a patio
Yep.
and there's a game going on.
Yep.
How entertaining is that?
Yeah.
And some of the kids do get drafted, by the way. I think like 5 last year, and then some of them like went right to low A or high A ball, right from the Riverhawks. We do have
Also,
a question. Oh, go
Sorry,
ahead.
on that point, did you see that the MLB, the NBA, and the NHL,
Yes.
the MVPs were all Canadian?
All Canadian first time.
Are you saying we're good?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like
But
that's
in
crazy.
typical
though.
Canadian fashion, we don't want to talk about it.
But like humble,
Yeah.
right? I saw that and I was like, oh my
Yes, I saw
God,
the
that's
same thing.
amazing.
So SGA Bennett and then Freddie Friedman.
That's right.
His mom was Canadian.
Hey.
He represents Canada
Yeah,
at
there
the
we
World
go.
Baseball Classic.
Yeah. That's pretty
Okay, I'll throw this at you guys because I know we're known as a hockey nation, but
Mm-hmm.
the way basketball's on the rise with our basketball players, men's and women's. Soccer is obviously, our women's side has been far superior to the men, but now the men are starting to catch up, which is excellent to see. What does that say about our sport culture? And what are you guys noticing? I mean, Dom,
It's
you've been
deeper.
around for a while.
Yeah.
Kiera, you're coaching now.
yeah, we just love it, I guess. You know, I don't know. I think like it's great.
Is it evolving and maturing?
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, because for so long, like hockey was so dominant. Like even, growing up, boys didn't play anything else because they were so focused on hockey. And now that there's like accessibility is a huge part as well. Is that like, having the opportunity to explore different sports and not just play hockey. And I think one of the things that's like not a great thing about hockey is how expensive it is. And so now we have, this influx of families that can't afford to play hockey or put their kids in hockey because it's an unbelievable expense. Like sometimes I hear the cost of youth hockey and I'm like, this is insane. And so it's almost like you force them to try other things and play other things. And it's starting to, gain some ground, and people are really starting to appreciate other sports as well. Before it was just like,
Hockey or bust.
Especially basketball, because it's the same season, and so it was just like competing all the time. And now it's like a completely separate thing that it's not competing nearly as much.
I think so many young people, kids, they all love sports now. I think back in our day, it was maybe niche kind of, right? And now it's just everybody loves sports.
Yeah.
Whether it's NHL, whether it's the Oilers, NBA. So many kids these days love the NBA, whether you like it or not.
Association City.
Association City.
As Dusty likes to say.
It gives you something to connect yourself with, right? Like when you slide on that shirt, that jersey, that hat, that whatever, you're putting that brand on whatever your brand is, and you want that connection, right? And it gives you that identity. And I'll tell you a funny story. Like years and years and years ago, I was in Cuba, and I was riding on the back of a horse on the beach, right? And the horse in front of me, that poor horse.
Shirtless?
No, that horse in front of me. The horse I was riding was working for its money that day. But the horse in front of me, there was a teenage girl was wearing a Flin Flon Bombers hat. And I'm like, I'm in Cuba right now. And she was with her family, right? So I talked to her dad, and I'm like, are you guys like from Manitoba? Oh, yeah. He goes, we live just outside of Flin Flon. I'm like, but like right away, if you think that if she was wearing a Nike hat or whatever, there's not 1 inch of me that would have talked to that family. But here I'm in Cuba, and I see a Flin Flon Bombers hat. That gives me something to talk about. That gives us a common, hey, number one, if you're not from Canada, I want to know where you got that hat from. Okay, number one.
Yeah.
But then to find out that, they're just a Manitoba family. They're in Cuba as well. And I just thought it was the coolest thing, because that's what hockey, a sport does, is it defines a little bit of where we are. It gives you a little bit of your age when you start referencing, players in whatever your sport is. I can tell how old you are. And sometimes you can be young but have great knowledge. And then I'm like, okay, you're impressing me right now with your depth of knowledge, right? Whereas, some kids can only talk about what I have now. But what I love about sport is it gives me that ability to pour my passion into something. And if I play it, so much the better. But if I watch it, if I consume it, if I help it, that gives me that camaraderie and that connection with the broader group.
I think too, like one of the important things with like sport developing in Canada is just it shows how important representation is as well. Like with, one of the most beautiful things about Canada is the immigration that we have. And now that there's more accessibility to sport, and now kids can see someone that looks like them playing whatever sport that they want. And so it's, they can play hockey, they can play basketball, they can play whatever because they've seen someone that looks like them play it. And same thing with the women's game, right? It can be something that they dream about doing from a very young age, which is not something that has been accessible to, especially to girls.
Yes.
But that hasn't been accessible or represented. So I think that goes to show a lot of that as well. And it's an exciting time for sport in Canada for sure.
What's funny is a couple of weeks ago, we were in Jasper at the Edmonton Oilers, do a hockey clinic every year, right? And it happened to be in Jasper, beautiful place. And Yukon Jack is in the house. But so what was really cool is we brought a couple Oil Kings players up to be on the ice. And one of the players we brought up was Noah Tamu. He's 17 years old now. He's Samoan.
Yeah.
And he's a big kid, right? Like he's a Samoan kid.
Yes.
Like he's big. His father, Ed, played in the NFL. And Ed's got hands like he's got like turkey mitts on him, right? Like I just love it. And what I loved the most was that here's a young man of color, right? Samoan descent. He's on the ice in Jasper interacting, and there was players of color that went right to Noah. Because to your point, I see someone that looks like me. I know that I'm in good stead right now.
There's a path for me.
Yes. And here he is. He at the time he was 16. He's now turned 17. He's just a young man. But the ability to inspire a 10-year-old at age of 17, and then knowing that Noah Tamu, every time he interacts with someone that's 25 years old that's playing his sport, it just everything ladders up. And if you don't have it at the grassroots, the dream limits itself.
100%.
Whereas you're saying, like, I can't achieve the next level because of X, Y, and Z. And economics will always be a thing, right? Like, if I can't afford to chase it down, that's the economics are the economics. But if I can't dream that I can partake, then I'm limiting myself based on really a prejudice. Whereas now, to your point, with all these different representatives that are able to showcase to young people, like, oh, hey, that person looks like me. I identify to that person on just a visual look. I think I have a path here for me to continue my evolution and my chase.
One of the things I'm just going to give like a quick shout out. I've been working with Free Play in the city for the last couple of months.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what they are, like I suggest you look it up, because like the work that they do is so unbelievably important, and the people that work there work so incredibly hard, and it's such important work. It creates that visibility, and not just that visibility, but the accessibility. Because
the sense of belonging,
yes,
right?
and the economic piece is so huge. Like, and not only for them to become pros or whatever, but just to play. Like, sport is so important. Like, being on a team and learning how to be a teammate, learning how to be a leader, building that self-confidence and all the things that come with being on a team sport and being a teammate. They're providing that.
Those are life skills.
And that's exactly what Free Play focuses on, is just providing those kids those life skills that are going to make them successful, not just in sport, but in their life. And so if you don't know what it is, if you can support it, they would appreciate it so much. And I think it's just an unbelievable organization, and the work that they do is really important and crucial.
Free Play and kids sport.
Yeah, all of it.
Pretty instrumental.
I read a quote years ago that said an uncoachable kid is an unemployable adult. And tell me that's wrong, right? Like there's been many times that my boss will tell me something that is right, but you got to have the ability of saying like, hey, I got to be able to look at myself and say, am I giving full effort? Can I give more? Sport teaches you that. And then you apply that to your scholastic, you apply that to your employment. And if you don't have that, if you've lived a sheltered life where you've never been part of a team, where sometimes I'm giving more than you are, and I'm criticizing you, saying, hey, I need more from you, and then you find more to give. That's what sport does.
Yeah.
It lifts everybody up, especially when you're successful.
Like, the confidence of being capable is so understated, and that's something I tell our team all the time, is just like, when you leave here, the biggest thing that I want for you is for you to believe that you are capable. Yeah. And if you think that you're capable of doing it, you will handle criticism, you will be accountable, and you'll have the confidence to pursue things that you're passionate about. You'll be a good partner, a good teammate, like whatever it is, because you have that deep-rooted confidence that you are capable of doing something. And so failure isn't a big deal. Yeah. You understand that it's a part of the process. It's like, hey, I'm capable of doing this. I'm in my learning phase or whatever it is. And that's something I tell them all the time.
That didn't go according to plan.
Yeah.
Changing the plan.
Failing is just learning.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll be honest with you guys, probably most wisdom imparted on this show in a long time.
Especially when you look at how we started, right?
Started being sus, and then
Thank you, Jazzy. I love that. Okay, I'm going to mention that portions of this hour are brought to you by the Ranch Golf and Country Club, the premier golf facility to the corporate branded products. The Ranch is your all-in-one tournament host. Proud to host over 120 tournaments each year, including the EST Golf Classic. July 8th, the EST Golf Classic is sold out. They are here to help you execute all your tournament ideas. Book your tournament today. Visit theranchgolf.com. K-Rad, by the way, how's your golf game?
Well, I can't play right now. I separated my shoulder, so I'm out for most of the summer. But I'm okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I went through a period of my life where I golfed a decent amount, but it's fallen off substantially over the last couple of years. But it's the hardest sport I ever played. Not even close.
It's all mental.
It is.
Right? Like, I watch pros melt down. If I'm like,
That
if a
part's
pro,
fun.
100%.
Yeah.
There's nothing better, right?
I get sick joy out of that.
Oh, but like it's so weird that when you have a good round, right? It can be as little as a good hole. You're like, I know what I'm doing. You get that confidence. You go up to the next hole, just like, oh, I guess I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, I'm back to where I was, right? Like,
when you can't just work harder to make up for it.
I can't try harder.
Yeah, for me, it was like, all right, I messed up. I'll just run harder or do something. Like, you can't. You just gotta play it out. It's like baseball in that respect.
Yeah.
You gotta wait. You just gotta wait, and it's just you.
you eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it too when guys will come up, like if I golf with a pair of friends and say I don't know how they golf, and you kind of have a preconceived notion when you see someone physically. You're like, oh, okay, this person can be a long ball hitter or whatever. There are people that are just rakes, right? Like there's nothing to them. They're $165 hammering the ball.
Yep.
I was just like, you can't judge people on the golf course, right? Just because you're big doesn't mean you can hit, and just because you're small doesn't mean you can't hit.
Yep.
And I've always loved that about golf, where you don't need to be a physically imposing person to be able to golf really well. And I love it when you golf with people that know what they're doing. It's a beautiful thing. Like I love it.
Britt Prendergast's dad.
Oh yeah.
I was talking about him
Kevin.
hanging out with Britt it's unbelievable how good of a golfer he is. Like he was in my
effortless.
foursome.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just walks up, no thought, no nothing.
Yep.
Just like I was like, oh my God, this guy's amazing.
Yeah.
Like it was incredible.
Was that like you, Tommy?
No. I played on Sunday. It was very frustrating. We got to pump you up, though. You got to be ready for the golf
I
tournament.
know. I'm going to hit the range this week.
Yeah.
I really am. I'm very nervous.
Did you get your own clubs this year?
Yeah, I did. I got them
did?
last year.
Okay.
And I practiced a lot last year.
Okay.
but doesn't mean I'm still not gonna suck. So I'm sorry, whoever I teamed up with.
We're gonna have a lot of fun. Our tournaments, it's a carryover from 1260, and it gets a little bit.
But as it should, though, right? Like
Yeah.
you're asking people to give really their day,
True.
right? Like
Yes.
there's no quick golf tournaments. Like some are quicker than others, and some are longer than others.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you're getting someone to give their day up. I better be able to enjoy it because I can golf anytime. But I want to golf where it's fun, and I know you guys like going out to the ranch. Like, come on, there's no better course to go out to. Like Murray does such a great job there, and if you haven't been to the ranch, I don't understand what you're doing right now. Like it is such a great location. That whole one though, it's gut check every time.
Yes, it is.
Every time.
It's
right,
a mental,
especially
you know
if you're
what?
with buddies and you're just like, I know I can hit the ball. But I know with that water looking at me right now, I got to clear it. Like I got to clear it. And then after that, you're fine. Right. But that first hole, it's gut check every time.
Somewhere Murray McCourt is smiling just because the universe signaled him.
Yeah.
When you had that little diatribe there, Kev. Murray also hosts the VIP Golf Show here on Edmonton
Great
Sports
guy.
Talk, Sundays 8:30 with Curtis Stock. Great show, great guy as well. I was gonna say something about the golf tournament, but I forgot. I do get sick joy in watching pros have a tough time.
Oh,
like
yeah.
at Oakmont
Oh, yeah.
last week when par actually meant something, I was like, good.
Yep.
Now you know how we feel.
We had a segment on our show on Saturday on Hello Hockey. Belsey brought up a point that he compared Tom not liking or like he likes watching golfers struggle.
Yeah.
Compared to the Billy Madison scene where he's laughing at the guy that's on fire.
Yep.
He's sitting there clapping his hands, and so we played the scene
Yeah.
a couple times. It's
Not even stretching the truth.
Yeah.
No,
But it humanizes it though, right? Because like
Totally.
if all they do is just knocking down eagles and birdies, like, okay, great. I want to see a guy with a snowman on the card.
Yep.
To be like, I can do that. You know what I mean? Like
I do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Chris G is asking a question directed to Kev. He's like, can you ask my question? Yes, I want to get to it, Chris G. Kev, are the Oil Kings bringing back the same team as last year? And if so, how do you think the boys will do?
Great question.
Coaching change too.
Yeah. President General Manager Kurt Hill currently interviewing some coaches. So, Luke Pierce was our coach for the last 3 years, and he was an assistant before then. He was 7 years with us. He just wanted a different voice. Nothing wrong with changing that voice around. Last year we made the playoffs for the first time in 3 seasons. Went up against a 2 seed with the Prince Albert Raiders and forced them to a 7 games, right? Like the narrative is I don't talk at the fact that we were up 3 games to 1, but the fact that
We'll
we
leave that out, yeah.
Yeah, we took a 2 seed to 7 games, really, really great. And much like you were talking about with your teams, you don't get to grow as a team until you face adversity and you challenge yourself as to what can our team accomplish. That loss of that round, I was so proud of our players because they were so young and developing. So a lot of our team is going to be back again. Like obviously, like guys like Marshall Finney aged out, Josh Morey, they aged out on us. Ryland Roarsma,
Yep.
And in the WHL, you can only have 3 20-year-old players. So that's always like that. That's why in the WHL, you should never be bad for long. You should never be good for long
It's
because
like
it's
this.
always changing,
Yep.
100%. But I can tell you that guys like Ethan McKenzie on the back end, guys like Blake Fiddler, guys like Josh Lee, they're going to be back. And you start looking at our captain, Gavin Hodnett's back again next year. Like, we're going to have a really, really good team. The expectations on our team are high. I'll say it straight that we're going to be a playoff team, and we hope that we can make some more damage in the playoffs.
Yep.
And it's exciting. It's exciting that Kurt Hill does a great job in gathering that talent. And then when you start looking at the depth that we have on our team, that's the real difference of it, right? And these players that get to play the big minutes and get to grow and experience that and then bring that over to the next generation, right? And we got guys like Stroder are going to be on our team next year full time. And he's just a young kid. And for him, see a guy like Joe Aginla.
Yes.
We had Jerome Aginla's son, Joe Aginla, played his first full season with us last year. And now he's going to have that growth and an opportunity. He knows what it takes and the rigors of a 68-game schedule. And like, we're on a bus from Victoria, BC to Brandon, Manitoba, and everywhere in between. And it's one of the things that people don't appreciate is like, hey, is the bus nice? Yes. Are you still rambling on a seat like this from Vancouver to Kelowna? And these kids still have to write the same exams that every other kid gets to write. Like, it's funny when you start adding everything in. I'm always impressed with our players and their ability to still want to do the community work, to be out there with the fans and engaging with our fans while they write tests, while they're 17, 18, 20 years old, going through all the strife and struggles that every 18 to 20-year-old does with their relationships. And then they're still excelling on the ice. Like there's so many layers that's really easy for me to be fans of these young men because I get to watch them grow and I get to watch them develop and evolve. It's
It
really
seems
cool.
like they have a lot of gratitude if they do that.
Absolutely.
Right?
We're lucky, right? Like we're lucky we get to play the sport that we love. We're lucky that we get to play at Rogers Place. We're lucky that the Oilers Entertainment Group is the parent company. So we're able to treat them like professionals. But the expectation is that they perform like professionals. It's one thing to treat you well. It's the next thing to give it back and hold yourself to that same level of account. We have a very high level that we say this is what success looks like to be a Edmonton Oil King player. And we demand that of our players. And we demand that they're involved in the community. And it's not just play your game and go home. It's, hey, we're going to try and make Edmonton a better place. And Edmonton, I've lived here since 94. I love this place. But then a lot of our players aren't from Edmonton. So they show them this is what it means to serve your community. And then when they go back to their community, whether that's in BC, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Dallas, Texas, like whatever that looks like, that's the pieces that we hope they take with them is understanding that there's a greater good when you serve your community.
I always forget about the school element. It made me wonder, Kiera, how hard are you on your girls school-wise?
I don't really have to be, if I'm going to be honest. Like,
Really?
we have one of the highest team GPAs consistently.
That's awesome.
Amazing.
Girl, high level athlete, like females for the most part are quite academic most of the time. And so I don't really have to drop the hammer on them very often because they do a fantastic job. I mean, and there's an expectation you have to have a certain GPA to get your scholarship and you have to have a certain GPA to
Right.
play. So there is that added pressure of that.
That
But
looming threat. Eh?
yeah, right. Like, it's always
Yeah.
lingering. But the one of the things that, just talking about how hard it is, and that's why it's so good for them because it is so hard. But it's whenever I have rookies that come in, I try and warn them. I'm like, your first semester, especially if you move away from home, is so difficult. You're cooking for yourself. You're doing your laundry. Your expectations in practice are so much higher, and you're playing against way better players who are bigger, stronger, faster, meaner. Your schooling is different. It has higher expectations. You need to be organized. You need to get sleep. You need to do all these things. And that first semester, it's nice because, like I talked about before, I have veterans now that can be like, you'll be okay.
Yeah.
We all been there. We've done it.
on.
Like, just keep hanging on. It
Yep.
gets better from here. But it's to be a student athlete for 5 years is an unbelievable accomplishment. And that's why I push it so hard on them because there's so much to learn when you're doing it. And it doesn't get easier every year. You just get better at dealing with hard. And so, but that first semester as a rookie, that first year, but that first semester, oh man, the amount of tears, the amount of like,
I can't take it.
like, I want to quit. I want to go home. I'm like,
Yeah.
I know you do. I get it. I told you it was going to be like this, but as many warnings as I can give you, it's you never understand what it's like until you go through it. And I try to remind them, and I'm bad at it that showing them that I like them, showing them that I care about them, and it's like I'm doing that through tough love. I'm doing that because I want you to get better. I
You're
want you
just
to
cold.
cold-hearted.
I'm kidding.
But yeah, it's an eye-opening experience for sure. And as much as I give them warnings, they don't know until they do it. So.
Well, you know what's funny is 2 years ago, the Oil Kings were playing in Lethbridge for a road game. I can't remember. I can't remember what section of the season it was, but our high school players had to write a final. And so we're at the hotel. I was with the team. I don't travel with the team often, but I did on that trip. And so I drove the players on a game day to the high school in Lethbridge, where they had a room that you had to surrender their cell phones and all this here. And they were able to write their exam. We then rushed them back to the hotel to get into their activation gear. They quickly had a bite to eat. They're activating with their team. They're practicing. They go back. They have a nap, and they played that night. And what I always have a problem with is when people on social media will make a comment about player X coughed up the puck or didn't score on an open net or things that's just the way the game is. But this guy was up at 6 o'clock this morning. He wrote a test at 10. He got back to the hotel at noon. We were on the ice or activating at 1. He had a nap at 3, and he played until 11 o'clock at night. And then we're back on a bus and off to Medicine Hat or off to wherever. I'm like, you couldn't. In your wildest dreams, you couldn't skate forwards and backwards. Like, come on, let's just start there. But I always get that defensive mechanism. Are you the same way? Where
Oh, yeah.
I'm not on social media for good reason, because I would love to take my tongue out of his cheek and just unleash. To be like, you're criticizing a 16-year-old right now that is trying his best, that made a mistake. Okay, professionals make mistakes, right? And we can break apart a player making $10 million a year in the NHL. They are going to cough up the puck. They are going to miss an empty net. That is the reality of it. And criticizing a 16-year-old is not going to help the 16-year-old be a better player.
No.
It gets them ready for the real world, I hate to say. But I get so protective of these players because I see the rigors of what they go through. And I'm always amazed when they're able to do it with a good attitude when they come to the rink and they're like, hey, and they just finished writing a test and they're stressed about it. Like they're talking to each other. Like, how are you doing on this portion of it? You know what I mean? And that's what I love about the beauty of collegiate, university, junior is because they're still finding their way.
Right.
Right. And you get to see them on that path. I think it's the greatest thing.
I think I've just gotten to a point where when people start saying that stuff, I'm like, you're an idiot.
Yeah. Yeah. Discredited, right? Like,
It doesn't, I don't even. Yeah, right.
it still ticks me off.
Keeps it
Though.
real.
I don't really have like an emotional response anymore because as soon as somebody says something like that, I'm like, you really don't know what you're talking about. Like, so what's the point of getting emotional about this? Because like you have no clue like what they go through, what they do on a daily basis, how unbelievably impressive it is that they do what they do. Yeah. So to me, it's just like, okay.
Very well said. Home stretch here of the Hangout. And I will add that EST is presented by Play Alberta. Make your bets count for you and everyone else with the Play Alberta app with hundreds of player prop bets on the biggest leagues, NFL, CFL, NHL, NBA, MLB. I think you can get in on CEBL now.
I thought I read that somewhere. Yeah, I think so.
You name it. You're not just playing for fun. You're supporting your province. Play Alberta revenue helps fund Alberta programs and services. Deposit today with promo code YEG50, YEG50, and get an EST exclusive $50 free bet to get started.
No big deal.
Yeah, our new
$50
partners
free
over at
bet.
Play Alberta. Jazzy, 10 minutes.
Gambling culture as well, I think, has brought everybody in sports together too, especially with WNBA. Saying in this off season, people are gambling.
But like, if you have money riding on something, it makes it more fun. If I go into pools, I am checking every hour of refreshing of, okay, so where am I at now? He had a good game. She had a great game. I had a bad game. Where am I at on the leaderboard? I just think it makes it more fun.
Of course it does.
You know what I mean?
I mean, responsibly.
Oh, absolutely, yes. Yes.
As we like to say.
Yes.
All right, Jazzy, what do we got? We got 10 minutes left.
Okay, there's something I want to say before time does run out. I just wanted to say thank you to you both about talking about, like minority people in sports and stuff like that. That's like, you guys said everything so perfectly that I couldn't have said it better. And nights like South Asian night are huge. They're huge to me and people of my culture. And we also love showcasing that to people of everybody else's culture, to give a hint of ours. And so I really appreciate that you guys did that. I was really taken aback. I love that. And that's why, and I'll give you a quick example of like how culture is so important. It's like, we joke that, about the Canucks, and that I'm a Canucks fan. I'm not a Canucks fan, so it's a really bad bit that I hope it dies. But okay.
That's not what ChatGPT said.
Yeah, exactly.
But I have a really close association with them because a lot of my family is from there, right?
Yeah.
And so yesterday I was just talking about the Calder Cup with the Abbotsford Canucks winning. I actually care. I care because it's a large South Asian team for me, and to see that success, like, good for them.
Yeah.
Right. But they're going after the Oilers for some reason. Get a life. Other than that, just that tidbit is just, that brings us together to sport, to hockey, right?
Well said.
I love it.
Yeah. They're very well spoken.
Yeah.
I know. Great guess. Great guess. Okay, Radomski, we've got the draft coming up this weekend.
Yeah, Friday.
The schedule coming out today.
Anything
else people need to know if they want to jump in on Oil Kings? We got Princess.
Princess Night's coming. Oh, yeah.
Night, I think.
I can tell you that yesterday, so on Monday, we announced our preseason schedule. So for the first time ever, we're going to take 2 games against the Prince George Cougars up to Hinton, Alberta. And if you haven't been, beautiful town. And we're going to do that on the 5th and 7th of September. We're going to play in Carstairs against Calgary on the 13th. And on the 14th, we're going to go to Westlock, Alberta. And what I really, really love is in the last 3 years, we've taken our preseason games to small communities in the greater, call it the Northern Alberta territory. We've been to Grant Cache, we've been to Edson, Hinton this year, we've been to Moskowitz, we've been to Morinville, now Westlock. And what it does is it allows minor hockey, Yukon Jack. You can't tell if he's winning or losing. He's just loud, right? Yeah.
The mics pick it up too. So don't worry.
Really? Okay.
People will know.
What I really love, though, is it acts as a catalyst for these communities to really celebrate the game, and it raises money for the minor hockey associations in those towns. As we've raised over $50,000 for minor hockey in the last 2 seasons.
Nice.
And so tickets are on sale right now for our 2 games in Hinton, our 1 game in Westlock, and we couldn't be more excited to bring those. It's a lot more work, but it's when you go to those towns, like when we were in Grant Cache 3 years ago, everywhere we went, people were like, "Oh my goodness, you're the Edmonton Oil Kings," and they were like there was a cute story. Like there was a lady that ran a coffee shop that's across the street from our hotel. She's like, "Our coffee shop is usually closed on Saturdays, but for you guys, just let me know and I'll open it up again."
I love that.
But you know what I mean? And like that's small town, and we loved being there. So we're so excited. But yeah, the schedule release is going to be later today. It might have happened. I think it happens at 11. So it's going to happen right away. So check out the art of the Oil Kings players drawing the logos of all the different teams. There's a couple, I'll tell you right now. Parker Elkos, he's from Vancouver. He's drafted by Vancouver, and he's from Vancouver. He did the Everett Silvertips. It's hilarious.
That's not an easy logo.
No, they're like a lot of them are not easy.
No.
And we even had Adam Yeko, who is right now in Czechia.
Yeah.
And he did a logo for us. So
I'm looking forward to
yeah,
seeing
it's really, really cool. So yeah, hats off to Katie for getting the buy-in from the players. But yeah, we can't wait to announce that. And then in August, we'll be announcing our promotional schedule, and that's for Princess Night, and all the other nights will be unveiled. And then the season starts on September 20th at Rogers Place, Saturday afternoon, 4 o'clock start. We got some surprises that we're going to have for the fans. It's going to be another great season.
I love it. Lyons, what's going on with the Nate women's basketball team? I remember talking to you a couple of years ago, and you were saying sponsorship. We could use more of that. Give us the rundown.
Always.
Never too much.
Never too much. It's something that like I want the girls to know. Like I had such a good experience at the University of Saskatchewan. Like they are, it's arguably the best program in the country, reigning national champions. The program is unbelievable. They treat their athletes and their staff, as good or better than anybody in the country. And it was just something that I was so appreciative of. And I want my players, our players, to know that they're valued and that their work that they put in is so valued. And in all the ways that I can support that, I want to do that. And by making their experience easy, by making sure they have the best access to AT and they have the best gear, and we can go on preseason trips, and we can, all of these, get them team shoes and make sure that our practice gear is awesome, and just, making sure they can speak to a sports psychologist and a nutritionist, and that all takes money, and that all takes work, and that's a part of, under the umbrella of what my role is. Like I don't, all of the coaches in the college and university, you're not just a coach. You essentially run a small business, and it's amazing, and I love it. It's so challenging, and I appreciate that about it. But it's finding those connections, especially in women's sport, and finding people that are interested in helping them out and investing in women's sport at the college level can be a difficult thing. So always looking for people who are wanting to sponsor and just support our program in any way that's possible. And so I'm doing my best this summer. I've done better this summer than I have
There we go.
ever before, and so I want to keep improving that. But yeah, I think it's. Girls are, you need to invest in them. And I think that they're the leaders of tomorrow. And the more that we invest in them now, the better off we're going to be down the road. So if that's something that you're interested in, then let me know.
How do they get a hold of you if they want to?
You can email me, Kiera, Kieral @nate.ca. You can go on our women's basketball page. It's OOKSWBB on Instagram. Call me up. My name's on the website, our Ooks Athletics website. So however you want to reach out is totally fine. I'll get back to you. I'm on my phone way too much and far too often. So I'll get back to you.
Always on, though. It's always
especially
on.
if you want to give us money, I'll get back to you.
Exactly.
I'll get back to you.
Go Ooks as an alum.
You remember when the Oilers used to have one of our presidents, past president, Patrick Laforge. So when he was running the Oilers, his voicemail was, you've reached Patrick Laforge. I'm paraphrasing, but you've reached Patrick Laforge of the Edmonton Oilers. Please leave a message. I'll get back to you as quickly as I can, but if you're buying tickets, I'll get back to you a little faster. Yeah. And I just remember, right? Like without apology, but that's the truth. Like, hey, I'll get back to you. But if you're going to help support our team, I'm getting back to you quick, right? Like, let's go.
I remember being so intimidated by him when I first got hired.
He's still a legend.
Yeah.
So good.
He's a big
Every time I get to talk to him, I have just nothing but admiration for everything that he was able to really guide the Oilers through a tumultuous time, right? A change of ownership and all that. And he's a legend, man. He's still a big deal.
Did a lot of good things for the city and that team. Sidhu, what do you got?
Just that the show had a lot of riz today.
Not sure. Had a lot of aura.
There we go.
A lot of aura. Yeah.
Good try.
I'm pretty sure UConn lost. I'm watching the stream right now.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he lost.
That gives me good ammo, though.
Yeah.
So when I go out there,
I'm pretty sure. I'm
Okay.
100%. He's now playing Hernan. So
Okay.
I'm watching that
What
game
was his
right now.
record, though? His record was abysmal.
1-8,
Yeah.
I think it was.
Yeah, like, come on,
Yeah.
UConn.
Are you
like-
guys impressed or embarrassed that we keep stats for a Tecmo league?
impressed?
Both.
That's a great answer. That's a great answer.
I think Maddie returns tomorrow.
I think so.
Where'd he go?
Well, Reed Wilkins is off today, so Reed.
Okay, so
is-
the shuffle.
There's the shuffle.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
having a
The
lot
summer
of that.
shuffle.
Guys, this is going to be the last time we
Yeah.
are together in this studio because we're on the move. So you guys.
I didn't know if it was public knowledge or not, so I didn't want to say it. All right.
I think what happened was a couple days ago, the our internet crapped out because this building's connection is bad.
Dodgy, yeah.
And Dusty just came back on there. He's like, "We're moving. That's enough. Screw this. We're moving."
Yeah.
But this is gonna be the last one. So I'm glad you guys signed the wall, and we'll have to have you guys in.
Yeah.
In our new.
Can't
studio
wait.
space.
Can't wait to see the new space.
It's gonna be good.
Like you guys have done such a great job of creating a home here in a quick fashion. Like let's be straight, right? Like this wasn't a long thought out process when the EST was born.
It was very quick,
right?
Yeah.
But then to say that not only did you find a foothold here, but now it's time to get bigger. It's time to get better. That's so cool. I can't wait to see the new digs.
You are always too good.
No, but like I mean it with genuine appreciation of being like, if anyone wants to start a podcast, try it. Okay, try and program. What? How many hours are you guys programming now?
12.
Okay,
Yeah,
12
full
hours.
station. Yeah.
Right? Like that's
Plus Stingers.
Yeah, exactly.
Riverhawks. Elks pre and post game. Oilers pre and post game.
insane.
Saturday
Weekend
program.
shows, yeah.
Weekend
Yeah.
shows. We don't have a religious hour like we did at 12:60, but it's
remember that? Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh
Every
yeah.
Monday there was a religious hour.
But
Like,
if
how
someone
do we
wants to
help this?
buy
They pay
a
for it.
religious hour, it's for sale, right? Like, oh, right?
Hey, we're small business.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. Anything's negotiable here.
To just piggyback off that, I think the last time I was here, you were pretty new to this
Yeah.
space, and so to be here now, where you've completely outgrown it, like, just congratulations. It's very cool to see. So keep
We've
going.
got a jazzy now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Well, I appreciate you guys coming in. Kevin Radomski, Kiera Lyons, fantastic show for
Awesome.
Jazzy. Do you want to cap off anything?
No, just that tomorrow I think Belzy's back here
Belzy's back.
and Maddie S4, and we'll talk. Yeah.
Love it.
For Kiera, K-Rat, Jazzy, and Betty, I'm Tommy. Thank you for watching the EST Hangout. Coming up next, the EST Lock Shop with Dusty and Huss. I'll be back on Two Guys and a Goalie filling in for Matt Cassian, who's away. You talk about the shuffle. That's
Yep.
happening today. That's going to do it for the Hangout. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks for having us.
Let's go.
There you go, right in front of the camera.
First-time guest, long-time listener, fan of the original draft commissioner.
Welcome to the EST Hangout presented by White Claw Hard Seltzer. The difference is clear. Matt Awanek, Tom Gazzola with here. Joining us today,